Hello and welcome back to Total Football, where it's the big one. It's Liverpool versus Spurs in the 2019 Champions League final in the Wanda Metropolitano. We'll be watching it live on Eurofootball Daily on Total Fans. Welcome Chris Hamill.
Or even Total Football.
Total Football, exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very good. You today are sort of edging towards Liverpool, is that right?
I am. They've got a few ex-Celtic players. I mean, I know Spurs have Wanyama, but, you know, Andy Robertson came through the Celtic Academy, Virgil van Dijk, and there's a bit of sweet cheddar after that move to Liverpool. So, yeah, I'm rooting for the Reds. But, you know, who could begrudge this Tottenham side a victory except Adam Templeman?
And Zachary, you are a Chelsea fan, but tonight you're sporting Spurs. Please can you explain that?
If I wasn't a Chelsea fan, I would probably be a Spurs fan. My uncle and most of my family are the white half of North London. And also, I want to see Poch do it as well. I feel it would be a nice thing just before he moves out to Barcelona.
He'd be so emotional, wouldn't he?
He would. And also for Sonny Snelling. I can't wait to see him cry if they lose or they win. So
yeah, true. And Temps, please can you explain what you're up to tonight?
I am back in Social Corner where I belong, asking your questions. So tweet us at Football Daily, Instagram, Facebook, hashtag Total Football, and I'll ask the questions to the guys.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's going to be a massive occasion. Please get all your questions in the comments section. Chris, let's start with Liverpool. Obviously, It's a massive occasion for Jurgen Klopp. Doesn't have the best record in major finals.
No, I believe he's lost his last 6 finals, and Liverpool have lost their last 4. So combined, they are, going to be trying to overturn this negative history that has been building up, because the pedigree, other than that, at Liverpool is fantastic, isn't it? Won 5 of their 8 European Cup finals, so they have lost the last 2 when they were underdogs. Now they're the favourites. Let's see how this kind of position sits with them. But yeah, they've just been so dominant against Spurs in recent history. Spurs only have 1 victory in the last 14 games against Liverpool, with Liverpool having won 9 of them. It makes for pretty frightful reading if you're a Lily White fan. And of course, I mean, the ties were quite close this year in the Premier League, 2-1 home and away. But I remember that game at Wembley when Liverpool missed a hat full of chances. It was much closer at Anfield, and Tottenham were much improved towards kind of that, I want to say the end of the season, but they were also dreadful at the end of the season. At least an improvement in that tie. So Liverpool will definitely have the mental edge, which is why when people kind of say that, Spurs are playing with house money in this game because they've already done so well to get to the final, it's sort of like, yes, but then you also have to overcome that mindset of knowing you're the kind of vastly inferior side. So I'm expecting a Liverpool victory, another closely fought encounter, and it will be interesting to see, of course, Firmino and Salah, their impact in the lineups as well. Sorry, not Salah, I meant Harry Kane, because obviously both have missed games recently, both spearheading their sides. I think Harry Kane's edging Liverpool's front 3 on Champions League goals as well, with 5 in 8. I think it's pretty much split across the triumvirate, isn't it? 4 apiece, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going Liverpool. But I just can't wait for this as a spectacle, man.
Yeah, it should be quality. And Zach, obviously it's Spurs' first ever European Cup final.
Yes, it is.
It's Poch's first final in quite a while, I believe. Who are going to be the key men for Spurs tonight?
Oh, it's a very good question. I mean, Son has been fantastic throughout them, especially whilst Harry Kane has been out. And, of course, Harry Kane in general. I do think it is a very, very rash decision to start him, especially when they haven't... he's been about nearly 2 months with him not playing a single minute.
Do you feel that outweighs the what if he hadn't started?
Yeah, exactly. Like I understand Poch's thing, right? I do feel bad for Lucas Moura, though. He scores a hat-trick to get them into the final and is repaid by saying, hey, you're going to go on the bench.
Football's a brutal game.
But I think he's also a brilliant player to bring on. I think they've got him, they've got Lamela, and they've also got Llorente as well they can bring on. So worst comes to worst, if Harry Kane is, say, after 60 minutes now tiring and they need to bring someone on comes Llorente, they play a bit more direct for him and they can bring on Lucas Moura as well for the pace. It's going to be an interesting battle. I do feel for Spurs, if they can keep it 0-0 and score just before half-time, or keep it 0-0 going into half-time, they'll edge it out. If they concede early on, this could be a battering.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating.
So you think the kind of history of the occasion or the magnitude is going to weigh over Liverpool as the longer the game goes on?
Yeah, and I just feel in general that Liverpool's team is better overall, and if they were to go ahead earlier, they can defend the lead a lot easier than if Spurs were to do the same. Because then later on, Liverpool can just, they've got more assets to bring on.
We know they like to press relentlessly from the start, don't they?
Exactly.
Look at that game against Barca. So
yeah, I mean, you make a good point. I mean, Spurs obviously finished 2 places behind them in the league table, 26 points behind them. And you make a good point about Fernando Llorente, because when he's come on in these games, particularly in that second half of the second leg against Ajax, he really made a difference occupying de Ligt. And also in that game at the Etihad as well, scoring that crucial goal off his arm. Adam Templeman, what are the good people saying so far?
At the moment, they're talking about our legs, and they're talking about...
It's sunny in London, people.
It is sunny in London.
28 degrees.
Calves on show.
who's got the better calf?
Not many score predictions.
Settle this once and for all, Jalab.
Should we do that, yeah? Who's got the better calf?
We'll do that later on.
At
half-time.
Leave your predictions in the comments, because we haven't actually had many come through.
No.
Do you want the first question?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I said the first question is from Ted, who says, "Do Liverpool have any weak positions in their squad?"
Chris is our resident Liverpool man this evening. What do you reckon?
I mean, Joel Matip maybe, and somewhat unfairly, you know, because he's played well this season, hasn't he? Become a more natural partner for Van Dijk than Lovren, it would seem. I mean, their bench is pretty tasty. There's some good utility men on there, isn't there? James Milner can come in and play, 8 of 11 positions quite naturally, can't he? Oxlade-Chamberlain can fill in anywhere, along that midfield. Also played right wing back for Arsenal at various points, and his fitness is now no longer a concern. Liverpool are a very complete team, aren't they? Obviously got some players like Naby Keita out, which would help. But they've also had some not peripheral figures, but some kind of last minute changes, I guess, given the complexion of the Barca side with Wijnaldum coming in. There's people vying for places, and that's a great place to be coming into a final. Tottenham, meanwhile, I think fairly riddled, but somehow managed to overcome it with their spirit and kind of this fighting mentality that Poch has instilled into them. But also, if you're Tottenham and you're thinking, okay, if we've not got the talent edge, then let's do we have the mentality edge? And no, because Liverpool have been brilliant at coming back from precarious situations as well in this tournament. So drawing with Munich at home, and then that famous comeback against Barcelona. So they're a pretty frightening proposition, aren't they? Let's just hope there's no big injuries early on in the game, like last year, where it changed the time massively, didn't it, with Mo Salah coming off. Obviously, if one of the forwards gets injured, then Divock Origi and Shaqiri are okay.
I was going to say Origi's a man in form. I mean, finished with 2 goals against Barcelona, got a winner against Newcastle. Really, sort of crucial goals at the back end of the year. But you'd probably say, yeah, I'd agree with Chris, centre forward and wing depth probably. Because Sturridge, I think, has looked a little bit over the hill this year. So Shaqiri and Origi, they'll be hoping for no massive problems there, and not for them having to come on too early. Zach, obviously, we've got to talk about Spurs' comeback in that 45 minutes against Ajax.
Which one?
Yeah, true.
There's several.
It's been endless. But what do you think was what Pochettino can learn from that second leg, and what can you take into this one?
I mean, I do think there was a bit of luck as well. Ajax hit the woodwork a few times, in fact.
A fair few times.
I think it's their spirit, man. I really do. The spirit, like Son as well, he's on screen right now. But Son, in this tournament especially, has been fantastic. Against City was arguably the reason how they got through. I'm just trying to... I really don't know. I'm not too sure. I think Lucas, he adds something when he can come on. He can bring the pace.
Yeah, that's definitely. Tottenham have at least got some players where they can change their system coming off the bench, right? Which it hasn't been the case at various points throughout the season. And I suppose Harry Kane starting does give Poch the ability to change it kind of dramatically. Like Llorente coming on against Ajax changed the game, didn't it, as well? They're finally, the plan B has finally come good towards the end of the season, particularly in European matches. Llorente's looked very useful and kind of bemused European defences, hasn't he? But Liverpool, of course, will be all too aware of big man.
I was gonna say, in general, though, they are through to the final through luck. Like, it was the last kick of it was the last.
You need a
kick
bit of luck, don't you?
Yeah, indeed, and they have had that throughout this tournament, which does make me also think they might win it because of it.
And Liverpool, even when they lost 3-0 to Barcelona at the Nou Camp, I was reading an interview with Jurgen Klopp earlier today. He was saying he didn't feel the loss. He said after the game. And that is because they were very unfortunate, I think, to be on the end of a Messi masterclass. Never has he had to do so much and ended up with so little at the end of a season. So they would have probably counted themselves unlucky not to have qualified. I mean, obviously they weren't great in the group stages, were they? Alisson kind of keeping them in the game against Napoli.
Crucial, so.
But yeah, I think Liverpool have looked a little bit more in control. But then that 4-0, yeah.
I tend to agree. I think Spurs have, were down and out really 3 games into the group stages. I mean, 89th minute winner from Kane against PSV, I think got them a 2-1 win, and then they beat Inter Milan pretty late on, and then Lucas Moura scored away in the Nou Camp. They played a really good 2-legged tie against Dortmund, particularly with Jan Vertonghen having a massive impact.
Dortmund seemed to be their most comfortable game out of all of them.
I'd agree.
That was the only game they've had no issues in. I mean, they played City, and again, Lloris saved a penalty to keep it at 0-0, and then Son scored the winner. And then they faced Ajax. And then they had the second leg, and they were again lucky again due to VAR.
Yeah.
So I kind of hate it when people say it, but maybe it is written in the stars.
Potentially. I mean, Ajax probably had the dream game and a half against Spurs. I thought they were particularly dominant in that first leg at White Hart Lane. Spurs sort of changed it around, but whoever wins tonight will win this trophy with the most losses in a single season, which is 4, which overtakes AC Milan in 2007. So both sides have been, particularly in the groups, pretty fallible. I mean, Liverpool lost 2-0 away at Red Star Belgrade, let's not forget.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at some of the per 90 numbers, and Liverpool are actually the 3rd best in the tournament in terms of how many shots they conceded per game. So I've not checked under stat for the expected goals, but maybe they're a little bit unfortunate to concede as many goals as they did in the group stage. Whereas Tottenham are sort of like, for shots taken and shots conceded, pretty mid-table for both.
Really?
Which is quite surprising.
Yeah.
So they'll have to be quite clinical, maybe ride their luck a little bit as the tournament's gone on. But just sort of Jean Matip there bagging a glorious OG. But yeah, it helps that Harry Kane, despite his injuries, I think he's almost played 50 games in all competitions for Spurs and England, which is still a lot of football given that he's had a couple of big injuries. And his numbers actually go up in the Champions League as well. He's taken almost 4 shots a game. So they've got players who are capable of finding that extra gear.
100%.
Which makes it all the more unpredictable.
It's just going to be a massive night for Harry Kane. After declaring himself fit when he was expected to be ruled out for the end of the year, now he's starting the biggest game in club football, or potentially world football in the way. It's going to be absolutely massive occasion for him. Because Spurs have looked good without him at parts this season as well.
I wonder how they'll line up. Because at the moment there's a few things going around, right? There's some saying that they can play 3 attacking midfield, and although some are saying it's going to be 2-2-2-2, or it's going to be a diamond per se.
You think it's going to be a diamond, don't you, Dougal?
I do, yeah. I think Spurs have looked their best when it's a diamond. I would expect it, although I have no idea, that they'll play Sissoko in the holding role, Winks and Eriksen either side, and then Ali as a 10. Just because I think that solidifies their midfield more. I don't think I could see Winks and Sissoko having quite a few issues with a midfield 3 unless they get serious help from Ali coming back if it was a 4-2-3-1. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And the tactical battle in this game, these two are known as some of the best tacticians in world football. And how they sort out and sort of respond to each other's movements in this game is going to be one of the best things about it, I think. Temps, what are the people saying? Should we get a question in?
Yeah, let's go for it. There's a lot of Liverpool fans in the comments by the looks of it, so a lot of people think Liverpool are going to win.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we need some more Spurs fans. We need some more optimistic Spurs fans as well.
Sonny and Danny, where are you?
Next question is from Jerry, who says, do you think Tottenham starting Harry Kane is going to be a big risk going into next season even?
I mean,
injury, or do you think they've rushed him back?
It's arguably the peak of his career and the peak of Spurs as a football club, this, right? So why not? If it's your best ever player, or maybe not best ever player, but your best player at the moment, one of the world's best strikers, then you have to play him. And I completely understand why.
Yeah.
Because, look, you would rather have Harry Kane on for 60 minutes and doing what he can, then give him until the second half where you could possibly be 2-0 down and out. And whereas with him on, you can try and
I agree.
you can score
Take the
earlier.
initiative.
Yeah, and he has more time, and because he hasn't played a lot of football in those 2 months. I don't know if they have played any friendlies behind the doors, but he then has a bit more time as well to get into the game, to get a feel of the game.
And he also
20 minutes.
He also asks a lot more, mentally speaking, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Of that Liverpool back line. Like Van Dijk has looked super composed throughout the whole season. I mean, his playing style it aesthetically looks like he rarely gets out of third gear. I think that's just how languid he is and chilled out he is. But having Harry Kane on the pitch does make you kind of, I suppose, second question your positioning, second question how close you are to your partner, as opposed to kind of maybe a more direct, predictable player like Lucas Moura. Harry Kane drops in, doesn't he? Takes up really good spaces. He's a really underrated passer, in my opinion. He's got that raking long field pass. He's a nightmare, and he gets involved. Well, he's a nightmare because he gets involved if things aren't going his way in the game. Like, he'll go out of his way to exact,
bigger influence.
Yeah, more quality, and take the initiative to the other side. So that might be part of Pochettino's thinking. He gives him a few more, gives him a bit more tactical versatility on the pitch.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think
not
when
slouches, are they? The back four for Liverpool.
No,
Robertson, stick Robertson on,
certainly not.
more on, then there you go.
Absolutely rapid, at least the fullbacks anyway. And Van Dijk's got a great turn of pace as well. But Moura, when he started the second leg against Ajax up front alone with Son, I thought Ajax dealt with him pretty well. It was only when Llorente came on at half-time that
he's playing off him.
That he managed to get more into the game and had that incredible second half hat-trick, all with his weaker left foot.
Moura into the game?
Yeah, he got more into the game.
Oh.
Very much unintentional. But, quick reminder, if you're joining us here on Total Football on EFD for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell as well. We've been doing these Champions League live streams all season long, and I have to say that me and Temps are almost a guarantee of a thriller. We watched Spurs City at the Etihad, and the Spurs second leg as well.
Unfortunately, mostly in Tottenham's favour. But nonetheless.
And me and Zach are here to counteract that, because we've watched some absolute stinkers this season.
Really? Okay, so we're even Stevens going into this. Temps, let's have our next question.
Yes, next one's from Darcy, who says, what has been your favourite moment of the Champions League season?
What was that? What do you think?
Ajax in general, essentially just recreating history again for them, bringing through a bunch of going to be legends of the game. I mean, De Ligt, Frankie de Jong, the game against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Although I didn't get to watch it live, I wish I did. When I saw the highlights, it was just stinking. Yeah. It was stinking.
It was awesome. But then, that second half against Spurs, they really sort of let it go in a way.
Yeah.
Although they were unlucky, as you say, in parts as well. I was quite surprised how their campaign finished, but you've got to give credit to such a young side who have really lit it up. For a pure one moment, I'd say that Trent Alexander's, we just saw it come on screen there, his early corner to Origi was just a piece of almost genius.
There's so many things that have to go right for that to go in.
Yeah, I mean, and big credit to the ball boy. I can't remember the name of him, but he's got this fascinating...
If you remember the name of him,
fascinating name.
It's not the worst that you didn't remember his name.
It's called like Callahan or whatever, and he just gives the ball to Trent, and Origi, also fair play to him because it's a bouncing ball.
Yeah.
Everyone had switched off from Barcelona. It was just a sign of Liverpool and Trent's real quick thinker. I thought that was a fantastic moment. Hammer, what was your favourite moment?
Poch is looking in good shape.
He's had a haircut.
It is incredible.
He's had a haircut. He's shaved. Do you see one of
tan?
Did you see one of the reporters asking him, like, you get one question
weight.
at a press conference and he asked Poch if he'd lost weight. An absolute stinker. Poch was like, no, not really.
Oh, but he did get up and show his bum before.
A bit sun-kissed. He's got a bit of a tan, hasn't he?
It looks lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to identify like seminal, like key historic moments in this Champions League campaign. It's been the best in the last 10 years, hasn't it? And you could pick any number out there. The kind of revelations or the rising of Frankie de Jong, De Ligt, seeing a 19-year-old centre-half really take command of a tie against an ageing Juventus, and even Juventus the round before that comeback against Atletico Madrid. There's just been a litany of comebacks, hasn't there? I think you'd be hard pressed to kind of like Ajax have shown the kind of footballing world that when your priorities are on youth and it is on playing football in the right fashion or having a clear philosophy, because as a smaller club it's kind of easy to revert to the mean, isn't it? In turning over players, making a tidy profit, and becoming, bottom feeders to the big boys. But they just really took the initiative to every side they played, and that Ajax, the tie at the Bernabeu, when Dusan Tadic was just pirouetting people into early retirement. It was absolutely unreal. That's the game that kind of stands out for me. Ziyech, of course, scoring his first Champions League goal. I think he went on to score another one straight after, and they were his first 2 goals in 45 shots in the Champions League. So he really announced himself on a major stage in a major way. I would say I'd be in agreement with Jelab, the various nuances of this Ajax side.
Fair. I think a game that also probably has the biggest impact over the next 3 years or so is Man United beating PSG. I think that game and that result alone got them completely swept up in this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Ole's at the wheel, and it became him getting the job almost. It made it almost inevitable.
Class for the neutral, because it means that Man United have now got Solskjaer, and that PSG went out again. It was
it was hilarious, but I think that will be the game that has the biggest repercussions in 3 years' time.
I like it.
Temps, what is our next question?
Our next question is from
stadium looks mad,
Anne Mole, who says, do you think the winner of this game will dictate whether Klopp or Poch is the better manager?
Ooh, arguably, this game will have a bigger impact on Poch and his future, Zach. Do you think this would change his standing in global football?
Reject the premise.
Yeah, I mean, if people think that just because if he doesn't win the Champions League, he's not a good manager, then that's stupid. Like, he's one of the best managers in the world. I do feel, though, if he wins this, his future at Spurs is possibly over. Because then he's done, apart from winning the Premier League, he's done everything he can possibly do there.
How does he surpass it full stop?
Exactly.
He could bring his retirement forward by about 10 years.
especially with this, the squad he's had this year. He does not have a great Champions League final squad. He's done miracles of with the players that he's got at his helm. I really think that if he wins this, he'll end up at Barcelona. He's
not going to coach Barcelona, is it? Because he was Espanyol coach.
I don't know. But if I whack a good 10 million, if I whack 10 million euros a year on the table and for you to manage this club, I think you might say yes.
I think he'd be at Tottenham for another year. But then, even this, I think it makes holding on to Poch so much harder getting to the final regardless. This is his first final in 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah. And
as much as a kind of glorious fairy tale, as it would be, it's kind of, it's statistically kind of in the balance, isn't it? But I don't think his stock can get much higher. Whereas Jurgen Klopp...
what do you think this means for his legacy, Hum?
Jurgen Klopp, I mean, going into the next season against Titans, the kind of defining team of the last 5 or 10 years in the Premier League, having won a trophy, it just helps build momentum, doesn't it? And it adds to the already kind of glorious mentality that these players have got. I just think it puts them in very good stead to take on Manchester City, whereas you'd be picking up these players from rock bottom had they ended this season, given all their endeavours, totally trophyless.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think it's more important for Liverpool.
Imagine he loses a third Champions League final.
Although you could say, Spurs, this is the most important day in their club's history. So as a club, maybe more so to Spurs, but as individual managers, maybe more so.
Yeah, I mean, this is Klopp's third major European final at Liverpool, and only Bob Paisley with 4 has reached more. And in order to be, as brutal as football is these days, and as brutal as football Twitter in particular is, he will be. That bottler tag will not go away until he wins the title. So I arguably think it means a bigger deal to Klopp, in my opinion, because Poch has done. No one would. If they lose 2-1 here tonight, no one's going to say Pochettino. What did he do? He threw it all away. Whereas that can't be said if Klopp loses, I think. They've got the far stronger team. They finished far above them in the league. They missed out on the league title by a point. If they lose when heavy favourites to Spurs, it won't obviously affect his future. But I think, as Hummel says, their mood going into next year and going into the summer is going to be drastically different.
It's the first time they're favourites as well, isn't it? The first time. That is big. Yeah. It's the first time that people have gone, actually Liverpool should be winning this tie. Taking on Real Madrid, who have been the side of the Champions League, full stop in Champions League history, at the start and now in current terms. And who else was the final two? Well, it's this one, sorry. Borussia Dortmund for the Europa League, wasn't it? That's when they were kind of in their pomp. Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern. He was underdogs for that as well against, what was the old Silver Fox's name? Yeah, Heinkes. Heinkes' treble-winning side. And then...
Obviously Real Madrid last year as well, very much the underdog.
But they beat Dortmund, didn't they? Lovren scored that header. Who did they play?
The Sevilla.
Oh, Sevilla, right.
Yeah.
Again, like Europa League specialists.
Yeah, exactly. And with a much weaker side back then as well. Because, I mean, we talked about it just about 15 minutes ago, but finding a weakness in this Liverpool side is genuinely quite difficult. Particularly with Gomez, if he comes back next year.
We just missed the perfect opportunity to talk about the Europa League for 5-10 minutes and just
question is from
really hammer home.
I do want to say, there is one weakness I think Liverpool do have. In terms of, their fullbacks are fantastic. However, their fullbacks can sometimes push on too far, which could allow Spurs to go down the wing easier.
Son versus Trent's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah,
it'll be fantastic.
Because he has Son has amazing running power. Do you remember that goal against Chelsea earlier in the season, where he gashed Jorginho with the ball?
Yeah.
Jorginho's not the quickest, but then he comes in, he takes another player out. I think it was David Luiz maybe, albeit two not the quickest players in the Premier League. But Trent has only kind of struggled against the likes of Sane, people with amazing running power. So that might be a little chink, but
100%. Temps, we can't just skate over it. Have you recovered from Wednesday night yet?
I don't think I'll ever recover.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan forever, aren't I? Really? So I'm gonna remember it. It wasn't great. It was worse because I had to go home with Zach the whole way. And I
did nothing wrong at all.
Does anyone follow Zach on Twitter?
Yeah, it's called. Mate, but I'll accept it. Like people do it. It's part and parcel of it, mate. You lose the final, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
If Chelsea lost, I would have got it, and I'd just taken it. It's not
but you wouldn't care because you won the Champions League in 2012. So what does it matter?
And we've also qualified for the Champions League before.
Anyway. Fair enough. It was a much bigger game for Arsenal, but let's move off the Europa League and back to this game.
Yeah, before those two scrap.
Exactly, before it all kicks off once again. Temps, what's the next question?
Well, Chris Ramirez has made a good point. He said, "Why are you not talking about Imagine Dragons? They are opening
don't get me started.
The game, their performance.
The opening ceremonies in the past few years for the Champions League have been abysmal.
Yeah, and apparently Pepsi invited every influencer apart from us. What's going on with that, Pepsi?
Hotels.com have invited Unai.
No, but honestly,
you've seen the views lately. What's going on?
2 years ago when it was at Cardiff, it was Black Eyed Peas. Last year it was a DJ, and then this year
do you remember
it's
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. Like it's like they're literally 5 years too late.
It's Dua Lipa last year. Do you say?
Who do you want? Some house music?
I don't care.
Just camel fat open.
Yeah. It's not like
you got to judge the tones, Zach.
Yeah, but Imagine Dragons is literally 2012. Radioactive, that song.
They were good back then, weren't they? Some of my glory days there. Thames, what's the next football-related question?
The next football-related question is, before we move on to just Champions League questions, Scott Young wants you to rate every Premier League, all of the top 6 Premier League clubs from best to worst this season. Yeah.
It's pretty much the
not the table. Or do you mean
the table from the top 6 in terms of like...
As an out of 10? Do you mean like how good their season was?
From first to 6th, who has had the best season out of the top 6?
Well,
I think it's literally where they finished.
But I think it is the table.
Yeah, I didn't really understand.
It doesn't deviate massively from the table, yeah. No. I think your question...
How much do you think that would change after this game? So if Spurs beat Liverpool, would they have had a better season?
I think if we're talking about like how well prepared they are for next season, it's slightly easier to answer. Because you put Liverpool and City, if they win this, Liverpool, I'll put them as joint first.
Would you?
Yeah, I think... Well, Liverpool are, in terms of Premier League points... accumulated. Actually, they were quite far behind the year before. I think it was Poch at one point, wasn't it? It was Tottenham at one point over like 2 or 3 years had accumulated the most Premier League points. I think that was before the centenary season under Pep. I'd put them as joint first. I think I'd put Arsenal and Manchester United down as needing the most surgery, but you could drag Chelsea into that because of their inability to change the squad, given that looming transfer ban, which is still, it's been contested, it still hasn't been confirmed, which is just really annoying. And Tottenham actually have come out of quite a fiscally difficult period, haven't they? Yeah. So I think they actually will have some money to spend, and a lot of young players will be chomping at the bit to play for them. I still don't think... was having this sort of debate with Pato that if they win this, I still don't think as a top player, you then automatically go, I'm going to join Tottenham Hotspur, because look at this, look at this amazing project. Look how they've overachieved under Pochettino. I think it will be a case of Tottenham kind of doing what they normally do in the transfer market, playing it quite smart, not overpaying anyone, not tying any old players down on long-term contracts. Whereas Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea, if they avoid that ban, will probably be happy to do so.
I reckon Spurs will be able to jump up a level though in terms of who they are signing. So instead of them being like the Lucas Moura's, the Wanyama's,
but they're going after Lo Celso, aren't they? And Lo Celso is very, very much kind of similar, like a player on the cusp of becoming elite.
Sure, yeah.
And he cost 53 million.
I think that's more. I think that's more the market in general, though, right?
I think that'd be a great sign. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like that elite band of play. I don't think they're going to be like, now we're Champions League finalists, I'm going to go and sign James Rodriguez. No, because James Rodriguez will be like, give me 300k, bitches.
And that's just like Daniel Levi. Daniel Levi as well. He's just not like that, and he will never be like that. Especially still, they do have the stadium to pay off as well, and that went over budget.
I think they'll stick to their model. But if I had to sort of rate their season in a way, in terms of the Premier League, I think it's probably a 6 out of 10. I thought they finished really badly. I think they won 3 of their final 12 games. I think they lost 13 games overall, which is the most in the top 6. I think the last time they lost more games was in 2008-9 when they finished 8th.
Imagine the convo would be having if Arsenal had just won one of those remaining 3 games and they qualify for the Champions League. Everyone would be like, Tottenham need to win the Champions League.
People forget that on Boxing Day, Spurs were 2nd and 6 points behind, and now they finished what were they 27 points behind City. So it was a bit of a collapse, which you can put that down to not making a signing since January 2017. You can put that down to having a thin squad in many areas.
Yeah,
but this amazing run to the Champions League final, fair play to them, but it shouldn't cover up what was actually, I thought, quite a mediocre Premier League campaign.
You feel if Liverpool win this, regardless of Liverpool winning this or not, they're in the ascendant. They're still going to be in the ascendancy because they're going to sign a couple of key players, and their squad, they've got more to come from the likes of Keita. Firmino's kind of not had the best season, has he, domestically? He's been in and out with injuries, and how pivotal has he been since Klopp's arrival? This kind of obvious areas of improvement for Liverpool. But you look at Tottenham and you're like, shit, they're playing at max capacity, and it could all come undone after this if they don't sign a couple of players, or if Harry Kane gets one more injury, or Pochettino's head is turned. So it just seemed a little bit more fragile at Tottenham at the moment.
100%. How good does the Wanda Metropolitano look tonight, by the way?
It's a lovely
compared to Baku. Oh my days.
This is these are the sort of stadiums where it should be held.
What a clear,
but I mean, this is a different competition.
Comparison between the two competitions.
Yeah.
Look at
The
this.
Europa League's meant for more lesser-known countries, so they're never going to hold the Champions League final in Baku.
I wouldn't put it past them.
They still need to be able to.
Istanbul next year, the Champions League, boys.
Really?
Here we go.
Oh, that'd be class.
Turkey
wherever they hold the Europa League final next, just hold it with somewhere with an airport. That is the most basic thing you can do.
So fans can actually go and watch
Doogie is available to do logistics for UEFA at Winter.
I think you'd do a good job.
If you are joining us for the first time on Total Football on Eurofootball Daily, welcome aboard. We're about 5-10 minutes away from kick-off. Please subscribe to the channel. We do these watch-alongs all the time. Please hit that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Chris, what do you think is going to be the key battle tonight?
Some glorious battles, isn't
there? I know.
So we're just getting how Tottenham are going to line up then. We're getting confirmation of how it's happening, and it looks like it's going to be a 4-2-3-1 according to Sky at the very least. Right, this could be Sky Security. Hello?
Going. Probably mute your mic. I'll tell you what.
Yes,
Trippier and Mane. Trippier and Mane could be which literally decides the competition.
Trippier and Mane.
Trippier this season has had a very big downfall, especially considering how it went. It literally had a downfall from when that free kick went in.
Yeah,
for England.
I think he's just looked tired, to be honest.
Arguably, but also I just don't think he's the right back for them.
Yeah, it's a bit like when people were heralding him as the best right back in Europe during that tournament. He's clearly never was. He had an exceptional tournament, and he's almost reverted back to the mean. I think he had a very good campaign last year, but hasn't really happened this year for him. Gave away, obviously, was at fault really for 2 of the goals against Ajax in that semi-final. I remember he lost his man when De Ligt scored that header. I think he was at fault for the second 2, so big occasion for him. Chris, Talk us through this Liverpool lineup. What do you think of the composition of this midfield in particular?
To talk me through that phone call. They're just intermittently checking that no one's robbing the place.
We have had a few burglaries recently.
And fair play. The 4-3-3. I mean, it's
Speaks
well
for
known,
itself, really.
Yeah.
it's bloody classic at this point, isn't it? That forward three always. I mean, barring Firmino in the last 2 or 3 months, they're just ever present, aren't they?
What do you think about Milner not starting? Do you think that's potentially interesting?
I really hope he gets some significant game time, because if there's a pro that deserves to win the Champions League in these, 2 squads, match day squads, then it probably is James Milner, owing to just his relentless professionalism and the fact the guy is just evergreen. Imagine having a guy like that who's just dedicated to whatever position he's playing in or wherever he's needed in the team. He must be every manager's dream. But I really like this Liverpool side. Much does everyone, especially after accumulating 90 odd points. It seems pretty redundant to say that now, doesn't it? But
Are there Liverpool fans with the Spurs fans?
So we're just watching
they're mixing,
them.
they're mixing nicely, haven't they?
They're
On
lining
trip.
up to do a minute's silence for Jose Antonio
of course,
Reyes, who obviously passed away. I think it was this morning in a car crash. And all the thoughts of Football Daily go out to him and his friends and family. What a tragic thing to happen. But we'll continue and we'll do some predictions. Temps, what would be your prediction for this?
I have put a bet on. I've gone 3-1 to Liverpool. That could be my heart speaking, because I really don't want Spurs to win.
Fair.
But I do think Liverpool are going to win it. But I think it's going to be. It will be close. A very close game.
Okay, Zachary, what do you
I think
reckon?
it's changed to a minute's applause, which is nice.
Nice.
I always prefer a minute's applause.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm going to go with either a 3-2 win to Spurs. 3-2 or 2-1, something like that. It'll be a goal in it.
3-2 is great.
I am going to go 2-1 to Liverpool. Still applauding for Jose Antonio Reyes. Obviously had a fantastic career.
Yes.
We're seeing Moreno looking visibly upset on the screen. Obviously played with him at
Lorente
Sevilla.
as well, yeah.
Lorente, obviously an ex-Spain teammate as well. Played for Arsenal, Real Madrid, Sevilla, amongst others.
I think
really
he won
fantastic.
12 major honours, was it, in a 20-year career? Like,
Really?
what a...
7 to the game. 7 to the game.
I said it in a tweet earlier, but just someone when I was younger that everyone without fail just thought was an extremely cool guy.
100%. And the esteem that he's held by his ex-colleagues at Arsenal, considering he only played there for, I think it was 2 years.
He was part of a very, very good squad, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was in the starting lineup, and he was a bit of a super sub as well at times.
Yeah.
He was such
Probably would have won more.
He was such a fan favourite.
If not for Manchester United at that period,
Yeah.
then of course he had that horrific
100%.
injury as well, didn't he, when he was kind of flying.
And his impact at Real Madrid won't ever be forgotten as well. I was talking with Hass, who's behind the scenes earlier, and he's a big Real Madrid fan. He was saying that he scored a double against Malaga, which sealed their La Liga title in, I think, 2007.
I remember the photo, like Sergio Ramos is in the background, isn't he? He's just like close to breaking down in tears. Yeah.
So some big moments in the RIP Jose Antonio Reyes.
Another big moment.
This is a big start from Liverpool.
Chris, we just have to have your prediction while we
Sorry,
just watch
mate.
this.
Yeah. I
Is it-
am going
what?
to go 3.
Is it a penalty?
No.
What? Sorry, what?
Handball.
Handball.
He's given a
It's
penalty.
been 30 seconds.
26. I think it was
No.
about 26.
No, come on, we need some clarity on this. What's going on? We haven't got the sound, guys.
He
I'm sorry.
he
Oh, no,
pointed.
it's a handball, yes.
Please
It's
let us know in the
It's a
comments
handball,
what
I
is
think.
going
It's
along.
handball.
Everyone get in. No.
No, you can't be
Go
giving that.
VAR for that. He's got his hand up, hasn't he? That's thick. But
Why is
I
he
mean, that is
pointing?
extremely unlucky.
That is outside the whatever it is, the silhouette of his
Yeah, it's
it's outside
okay,
the natural
well-
silhouette of his body.
it's-
That's going to be given as a handball.
But it's his chest first.
Spurs fan.
This is a potentially
No one wanted to see the Champions League final start like this. Mohamed Salah with a penalty inside the first minute. This is Sissoko, who's had their player of the season given away. That's so cool. I hope he misses.
I totally
I want
agree.
Liverpool to win, but I hope he misses.
I don't know.
I hope he
Oh my
misses
God,
for the
that's
good of the
really
game. I
controversial.
actually
Oh my
do
God,
hope
come
he
on,
misses.
Louise. Come on, Louise.
But
Seen
why
the handball
is he
ruin it.
pointing?
Come on,
Why is he
Louise.
pointing like
Why
that?
is he doing
It's
this?
I
thick.
mean,
I'm not looking at the
it's for
comments,
several
guys.
reasons,
So I
right?
don't
Like
know what's happening.
he could easily be like telling an
Don't
offender.
worry.
You've got to remember though, Lloris saved that penalty against Aguero at. I think it was in the second leg. Absolutely vital, it turned out to be. Let's see what can happen here. Salah.
It's a big old
stepping
run-up
up
from
from
Mohamed
12
Salah.
yards.
Come on, Hugo.
This will be an
Come on, Lloris.
amazing start for Liverpool.
This is mental.
Mohamed Salah stepping
my God.
up.
Oh my God!
1-0.
Buried it.
Wow.
Come on, Liverpool.
Oh
mate.
my God!
This is
All
what
the
we
Tottenham fans who have given up 2 days at work, have travelled, have
Come
paid
on.
an absolute fortune to be at the stadium, and a penalty's been conceded after a minute.
The
That is
script,
just.
Maurizio Pochettino's tactical plan ripped up right in front of him. 26 seconds in, Sissoko gives away a penalty.
This is literally.
I think that's
this is
quite cruel.
this
but
is
it is
literally-
the new rule. It is the new rule.
But the rule's not in yet.
Yes, it
this-
is. It's already in because
Yeah,
that's
it
why
is.
you saw Kehrer give away that handball against Man United when Diogo Dalot hit that shot. If your hand is outside the natural silhouette of your body, which Sissoko
What is he doing?
then that is a
Why is he
penalty by the
point-
letter
who's
of the
he
new
pointing
law.
at here? That
What
is
is he
a
doing?
penalty.
I mean, that's redemption for Mohamed Salah, isn't it? Came off after 31 minutes last campaign.
Yeah.
Not the most convincing penalty.
I
A little
don't
bit more
think it's a
down,
good penalty.
a little bit more down the centre, and Lloris has kind of overdived.
Quick question: do penalties count as shots on target?
It's gone straight over his
I
head.
think so. Yeah, no, they
Oh,
definitely
good.
do.
That's good.
Interesting celebration from Salah as well. Lloris, as you say, looked like he dived under it. It was just
Yeah.
right above him.
I mean, it kind of went straight over his head. Palms kind of akimbo. Right. I mean, we saw Charlton come back from 1-0 down, owing to awful
we
early
have to bring that up?
circumstances. Yeah, that's just a complete coincidence that you're sitting next to me, mate.
I love how we got the League One playoff final.
So maybe Tottenham. Let's see if we can work the SPFL in there. So maybe Tottenham can repeat the feat, but that is not how we wanted this Champions League campaign to be wound up.
No, 100%
because it's been
not.
an absolute classic, hasn't it?
I don't know.
It is more drama, I suppose.
I
so
think
tends
this
to
could
throw
be
what we-
great for the game. I think this could really open it up.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, no, because I feel like both teams would have been scared to go
No,
for it
I
at the
feel
start
like-
of the year.
Bro, this
Everyone's a
is
bit
it, like-
cagey.
Right.
This is literally
I mean, I'm not gonna
the
say
worst
it.
thing that could happen.
Hopefully
for-
Tottenham don't shat the bed, basically.
I- Spurs.
I hope Tottenham do score just for the
I think
game
they
to
will.
be
I think they will.
entertaining.
I've been. But that is Spurs have now conceded 18 goals in this year's competition, which is the most of any team. And they've conceded. I wrote it down before. I think 7 in the first 15 minutes. So this is another goal.
Is it on here?
I think it was, yeah. So this is another goal conceded. It was given on, he scored it in 2 minutes, but they conceded that penalty 26 seconds in.
7 of the goals have come in the first 15 minutes, mate.
wow.
Thank you very
So
much.
you guys
There we
spot
go.
on. That was your little,
yeah.
your
Well,
little
What a
prep
competition.
sheet.
There's the 8th. Just a tragic start for Pochettino
yeah.
and his men. It's going to be really interesting to see how they settle down in the first 15.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed in the comments. I think this could just be like Spurs fans saying it's a bit harsh. I think people are saying it's harsh because it happened so early. But Joe Thomas made the point you can't ignore something like that just because it's 26 seconds in.
You
No,
can't.
100%.
Like, you have to.
I mean, by the
I'm
letter
gonna
of the
text
law,
Sonny.
letter of the law, it is a penalty. Ooh,
Here we
Trent
go.
getting the ball caught on the back of his, on his back. Son with the ball.
That's poor from Dele. That's poor from Dele Alli.
Corner to Spurs. Zach, if you were a Spurs player right now, or Spurs captain more specifically, Hugo Lloris, what are you saying to your men?
That's it, boys. Get ready. Get ready for the silver medals.
at least you got a medal.
Look, it is like it is normally. It's just shake it off. It's still like as every Sunday League football captain will say, it's still 0-0. Carry on.
Yeah, I mean, if one side's well equipped to come back, it's
Exactly.
Tottenham, isn't it?
Exactly.
So let's remain positive. Let's keep pushing the idea they will come back, because
It
what
could
is
be
it?
from this
What's
corner,
their, what's
you
their,
never know.
What's their slogan about to dare
To
is
dare
to
is to do.
So
I
let's
mean,
see
it'd
how,
be great
see how
if we
bloody
could
daring they
see
are
it.
today.
100%.
Wonderful if the internet in our basement was working.
Here we go.
Oh, this is pretty horrible. to watch.
Yeah, Trippier swinging it in. It's been cleared by someone, but our stream is slightly messing up at the moment. Here we go. We're receiving it again. Cleared away by Van Dijk. Probably the first of many headed clearances tonight.
Maybe give it a refresh.
We could give it a refresh.
Yeah, let's give it a refresh. While we're giving it a refresh, Temps, what are the people saying? Have they calmed down?
Yeah, there's a bit of calm now. I think people just have sort of just accepting it now. It's in the replay that it was a penalty, definitely. Not really much
It's fair
debate going
enough.
on.
No, it's fair enough.
Before I run off for a wee, because I really need one. Nathan,
thought it
That's what you get when you sink a beer, like
shouldn't have done it.
a
shouldn't have
pint
I
of
thought it
water
was-
and a coffee.
I thought it was
before-
just me.
before
Done
coming
it.
on.
I think I might have to go
How
at
many
half-time.
football socials have you been on?
I've normally done quite well. This is end of season like jitters.
Your bladder's just got weaker as the season's
Yeah,
progressed.
it's been tested. Matthew says, if Liverpool win the Champions League, does that make up for missing out on the Premier League?
Ooh, I would say.
I'm going to go for it.
I'd say that from a Liverpool fan perspective, they'd probably say. Would they say yes? Basically, what I'm trying to say is the Premier League title was the one I think they really wanted this year. And to come so close to be leading by so much, I think it was 7 points in January, which was then cut to 4 after that loss to City. Only losing 1 game. I mean, they just had to hold their hands up and say, City, you won 14 games in a row, I think it was. unbelievable, fair play to you. But I think that would be the one that ideally that they would have won. But I think they'll be satisfied if they come out of here with a 6th European Cup in 9 finals. A completely unrivaled record in England. Zach, what are your thoughts on that if you were a Liverpool fan?
I can see it. I mean, ideally you'd want to win both, right? And the fact that they were so far ahead at some points, and they essentially had it in the bag.
It's just Liverpool. They were 7 points ahead.
Yeah. Exactly.
Playing Manchester City, weren't they? When they drew 0-0.
Yeah. But I mean, I find it kind of hard to equal which one's better, the Champions League or the Premier League. I guess because they've never won the Premier League, and they've already won the Champions League several times, it maybe outweighs it just slightly.
It's harder, isn't it, to win the Premier League? As in, like
it's 32 games versus just a whole.
Pep and Klopp have traded a few slights, haven't they?
Yeah.
In recent weeks, with Klopp saying that, he would say the Premier League's at the forefront of his thinking because he's not in the Champions League final. I think as an elite manager in the Premier League, the only trophy you can win if you don't win the Premier League and it still be a successful season is the Champions League. Yeah, exactly. So it's literally the only cup competition that has that sort of gives you that sort of currency, isn't it? And rightly so as well, because the quality of the top sides in Europe is. I mean, Bayern are about to go and do a madness. Yeah. PSG have consistently been doing one. Juve are paying monstrous wages now for top players. Not something they have done in since Paratici was there, since they came back up from Serie B. Dortmund are shopping really, really well.
Really well, you can say that.
So like the actual pedigree of the top sides in Europe now is higher than it's probably, it's been in a little while. I mean, the Milans need to brush up, don't they?
Yeah.
Napoli probably a little bit inferior this season.
Well, I think their quarter-final exit in the Europa League to Arsenal, I was so
pretty
surprised
emphatic,
by
wasn't
that.
it?
Yeah, it was a walk in the park for Arsenal. That was really, really damning, and they finished Serie A quite poorly as well. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens in terms of next year after Real Madrid are bound to spend heavily. Expect Hazard to be confirmed in the next 10 days or so. It's going to be really interesting to see what else they can do.
Sunny
This is a really good
start.
start.
Yeah, what have you made of Spurs in the last couple of minutes?
This is a really good recovery, I guess. I mean, the first 2 minutes wasn't the best, but the 8 minutes since has been ideally the best it could have been without scoring a goal. They've already had a corner. They've had several chances to go forward. Right now, the pressure Spurs are putting onto the Liverpool players is immense, as we expect them to do. But yeah, Son. I feel like Dele has been a bit nervous by the looks of it. Every time he seems to get the ball, it's a little bit of a heavy touch, or the pass he plays is a little bit too much power on it.
Sorry, can we just stop that for 1 second and just appreciate that ball?
Virgil van Dijk's just won a corner from playing it like 18 yards from his own goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What a ball that is.
It was the same pass.
That'll do the rounds on Twitter as well, won't it? After Liverpool win 3-0, it'll be like, it's all thanks to this pass from Van Dijk.
It was a similar sort of start to that pass for Mane against Bayern Munich, which he then turns Neuer and finishes into the corner. He's just so good at long field balls. He's just absolutely incredible. And coming up to take this corner is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who finished with 12 assists in the Premier League, the most ever by a defender. I think Robertson also got over 10, which is the first time 2 fullbacks have done that in the same side. Quite incredible. So Trent Alexander's dead balls, you imagine, are going to be pretty crucial.
Does anyone?
I should have brought my sunglasses for Firmino's teeth. Blimey.
Anyone Did anyone read Robertson's piece in the Players' Tribute?
Excellent. Yeah, it's really good.
What an absolute don! Like, he's kind of one of the reasons I'm in the Liverpool camp. In the Liverpool
fair
camp
play,
today.
well done, Louis.
Clawed away from Louis there, Liverpool corner. Good ball in from Trent.
Robertson absolutely gas.
I mean, it took them about 18 attempts to get one past the first man against Barcelona. So I'm glad that I don't have to beat that drum, because when a corner doesn't beat the first man, I just want to rip.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It is one of my big bugbears, 100%. If you're joining us, welcome. Liverpool are 1-0 up against Spurs in the Champions League final. Penalty conceded by Moussa Sissoko, tucked away slightly fortuitously by Mo Salah. But yeah, game on. Pochettino looking a little bit nonplussed so far. Please subscribe to Eurofootball Daily. Temps, next question.
How was your week, Temps? Good?
Long. I'm back though. I'm ready to go. Marcus says, opinion on Trippier to Napoli or Atletico?
Exactly. I mean, you've been talking about Trippier. Do you think this is the strangest transfer?
Silly. Yeah, I don't know why they want him. Like, I don't think he's that great.
I mean,
Maybe
that
yellow
is
card
tackle,
or
yeah.
at least a final warning.
Yeah, Matip as well.
That
Is he booking him?
Wasn't it?
Matip is essentially just a late tackle on Harry Kane, but is a late
Yeah,
tackle.
I think Kane's made the most of it a little bit.
Oh, it's not even. It's on.
That is on Harry Kane.
Oh yeah.
I think if they do,
It's just reckless. It's a bit like he's out of control.
That's okay.
It's going to be
That's
interesting.
okay.
I mean, if Spurs do sell Trippier from their perspective,
Yes, sorry.
haven't seen a lot of Serge Aurier this
A
year.
little bit of a derby. He's dramatised that big time, isn't it?
God, Delhi man.
Serge Aurier has not been in Pochettino's plans.
No,
really this year.
I reckon they'd have to either Carl Walker-Peters has got to get
Really
a lot
step
better, or they're going to have to go out in the market and buy another fullback.
It's hard to answer, but do you think with Serge Aurier, he was just thinking he's worth the risk in terms of can I bring him round to my way of thinking and training and playing, and it's not. He's kind of been reckless. He's been the obvious weak link every time he's played, in my opinion. Like, still good going forward, but I'm not sure if Pochettino is going to place much more faith in him.
No,
There's
100%.
a few young right backs as well in League One. There's Alakuch, who is playing for Nantes or Nimes or something like that,
Okay.
and he makes 8 tackles and interceptions per game.
There's a guy called
Which
Yusuf
also-
Attal as well,
Yeah, he's Algerian as well, Yusuf Attal.
which is always a big plus in Zach.
Yeah.
It really is. He's also
Means very little to
he
anyone else.
But he can actually play in midfield as well. But he's
It's quite attacking.
What a ball!
Is that Harry
Oh
Kane?
my
No,
God,
it was
that's
Vertonghen to
Vertonghen.
Trippier.
Why, how am I
Here's some
confusing Harry? I mean, Vertonghen's got pretty similar.
Ericsson.
Why would Harry Kane be there? What am I talking about?
They could have done better though.
Because
That's
our,
why I feel
our
like
screen's
Trippier.
pixelated.com.
Yeah, you do feel like this is an absolutely enormous game for Christian Eriksen. I always feel like when he's at his best,
Could be his last game.
Spurs are at their best, and as Zach says, could well be his last game. Do you see that Spurs, Zach even, as our sort of Spurs pundit, do you see that happening?
Possibly. I think the only real place for him to go is Real Madrid, right? And that's kind of the place that we always link him to. The issue, though, is say they are buying Eden Hazard for £100 million. To get Christian Eriksen, you're going to have to be spending near enough the same amount.
Yeah, I'd have thought 80, 90, yeah.
Exactly, and he is getting older, and he is getting...
Well, he's only 27, 26,
27, 20, yeah, okay, maybe it's not too bad. But then if they've already got Modric signing a contract, they've got Kroos signing a contract, they've got Kovacic possibly coming back, Casemiro, obviously.
They've got quite a lot of faith in Marcus Llorente as well.
Exactly. There's a few... It's just something that, I don't know, I'd expect Christian Eriksen, I think, to sign a contract after this final to commit his future and probably the rest of his career to Spurs. But if they...
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too sure who else he could go to
Yeah.
in terms of other teams, apart
Chris,
from Real Madrid.
from a
really.
Liverpool perspective, do you see any
Now
of
we
their...
know who's doing Mino Raiola's bidding while he's away. Zach Gelab just touting people
the puppet
to sign
master.
contracts after games. I love it, Zach.
Just getting all the Algerians in there as well.
Yeah.
Chris, from a Liverpool perspective, can you see any of their big stars leaving this summer, or do you think pretty settled camp?
I can only see them adding, right? I mean, if they had Nabil Fekir, just imagine the options. I mean, Shaqiri probably wouldn't have got any game time. They might have not have even acquired him. I'm not sure if they sealed that deal before they went for Nabil Fekir. Trent Alexander-Arnold seeing that kind of Spurs attack out, but yeah, I expect they'll acquire 1 or 2 players, and their strategy over the last 3 or 4 years has been just so simpatico with what Klopp wants. Like, the club seem in perfect harmony on every single level, and Sheikh Khaled tried to buy Liverpool last year for £1 billion.
Did the guy that's now buying Newcastle?
Yes, for not as much money, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
So, and the owners don't want to sell up, so they're kind of stable in that regard as well. It seems like Liverpool know they're kind of on the cusp of building something that is going to take the other Premier League sides, barring Manchester City, a long time to catch up on. So for consistency's sake, I think they'll sign 1 or 2 players, but Sorry, trying to keep up with the game here.
Yeah,
The screen keeps going on and off. I think they'll be a pretty frightening proposition next year.
100%.
Naby Keita as well.
I know. He still hasn't hit.
Come on.
Complete.
He
form
was
yet.
as well before he got injured.
Yeah, exactly. He's coming more into it towards the back end of the year, but expect a big season from him next year. I've just been impressed with how well all their signings have adapted. Obviously, Fabinho had quite a slow start. Klopp sort of eased him into his style of play. I mean, I was reading an article by Robertson the other day. Might well have been in his Players Tribune actually, and how he's saying it's quite difficult to adapt Klopp's system in that it's all about zonal marking. Talk us through it, Chris.
I mean, Jordan Henderson, who's also mentioned in that article, just for being a consummate pro and maybe underrated somewhat in terms of his technical skill set, just plays a little pass out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's absolutely lashed in. I feel like Lloris has kind of reacted quite late. There was a little bit of swerve on it last minute, and it comes back towards goal, and he's cacked his pants a little bit, thrown himself across the face of goal, but it's narrowly gone past the post to his right-hand side. But
we've got a streaker.
No, I've not seen a streaker in a long time.
Well, she's actually got a swimming suit on, but not
I thought you were going to say
not quite a streaker.
A respectful streaker.
Normally as well, the TV cameras are a lot better at that as well. They switch straight
right into the middle.
She doesn't look that quick either. How has she got that far? That's the question on my lips as well, Tense. Unless she's got unbelievable pace, just from the starting blocks. She's quick over the first 30, 40
Spanish
minutes.
stewards really need to get a grip of this game now. They've completely lost it last 5. Streakers all over the place.
I imagine this doesn't play up to your sensibilities, Duke. It's a
like
classical
it.
man.
I do not like this.
I don't like it because it stops the game completely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's horrible.
If you're Poch as well, you're fucking
100%.
100%. Sickening.
I was about to say, just while we were talking about Trent, how impressed I've been with his comeback from being dropped from that first leg against Barcelona. Klopp made the kind of baffling decision to start Joe Gomez, and it made their attack, I thought, very left-sided. Gomez, I think, is a great centre-back, but I don't think he's nearly as comfortable at right-back. But since Trent's come back in, he's been absolutely outstanding. I think he's got 9 assists in his last 9 games, and only not provided an assist in one game, which was their 2-0 victory over Chelsea. So, an incredible... He's probably he's one of the form players in Europe right now, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think that's too big a push to say, so it'll be fascinating to see whether he continues this strong start.
Tell you what, DJ, Sissoko has now snuffled out 2 attacks. One with Salah, one with Robertson there down the left-hand side. That was really well worked by Liverpool, actually. So he's kind of picking up in confidence a little bit after conceding that penalty, isn't he? But look how deep Kane is.
Here we go.
What a Virgin van Dijk.
Well played, Trent. Well played, Trent.
Where's Kane?
Quite a weak cut.
Apparently I'm a Spurs fan. So
I think what you are is you want it to be level again, just for a bit of
even
equal.
I do.
I don't think it was...
I want Sissoko to score a rasping 30-yard
When I
volley.
first saw it, I was like, that's really brutal. But
Come on, Winksy.
From the new handball...
This is fantastic football.
Zach, talk us through that. Spurs getting on the ball a bit.
So Spurs, it was a great... it was Eriksen brought the ball and Virgil van Dijk pushed up. As we know, he likes to in closer space. However, Christian Eriksen made a bit of space for himself and played a great ball through to Son, who was it was him and Matip, and unfortunately wasn't able to control the ball, and Matip got the tackle in. However, Spurs are starting to get back into it slightly. As we said, Mr. Sissoko, he's kind of shaken off the nerves, shaken off what just happened earlier. I still feel like Dele Alli is a bit nervous. I've not really seen him do too much.
I'm looking at the shape, and it is very much a 4-4-1-1 when they haven't got the ball, and Dele Alli is filling in at the centre of the centre of midfield, which is. Has he played there an awful lot this season? As in a true central midfielder?
Yeah, I think it's been.
He can do it, can't he?
Yeah,
quite comfortably, but
over the place. Here we go, Salah.
No.
I've not noticed Firmino much either.
No.
But he's done that at various points this season. 2 really good moves by either side there. So the one that Sissoko.
This is such a good ball. Look at that.
That's lovely, isn't it?
That's a fairly obvious run though.
I think you put your head down there. Well played Trent Alexander-Arnold though.
Not a defence.
Trent
Not a defence splitting pass by any means. That's a pretty simple ball. That would be alarming for Klopp.
It's a simple ball, but he makes the run into space to play the ball.
Was that after Fabinho went with that one nice touch pass? That nice one-touch pass even.
So he opened up.
When he's not there, it is pretty. They look pretty porous.
A little shove on Wijnaldum in the box. Another Trent Alexander-Arnold corner.
It's this tactic though of crowd the keeper and push out to the front post.
Ooh,
But Lloris has done very well.
That's
Both
well
times
punched.
they've attempted it, he's come out and
You know all about that when you gel up.
Yeah, I try
What
to.
are you a
you a
good
puncher or a
catcher or are
catcher?
you a puncher? Yeah.
You're a puncher, aren't you?
I'm a get it out of here.
You're a flapper.
So you're a
Yeah,
puncher.
I'm more of a puncher.
Just by any means.
I mean, I'll try and catch it, but instead of punch it, I'll palm it.
It's so satisfying when a keeper takes it though, isn't it? When they when they
that's
catch
so
it.
It's
you're
hard
just
though.
like,
It's
yeah.
hard.
So
Like,
risky. If that slips through
judging
your fingers,
judging
it's
a
over.
corner,
Yeah.
judging a corner is very difficult, especially when they're doing that tactic there of get every man and your own team around you. So essentially, you're just crowded and can't see the ball. Like we can't see the TV.
It's a massive game for Hugo Lloris actually. Well, it's a massive final as well. Considering the last major final he was in, the World Cup final, he gave away a goal to Croatia, although they obviously coasted to I think it was a 4-1 victory in the end.
Mo Salah is shooting on sight, mate. Have you noticed it?
Yeah.
Like they are not backing Lloris to
He
deal
is
confidently with these
hungry.
long-range raspers,
I
are
think
they?
you might well be
He is
right
a bit
actually.
hungry,
They're
isn't he,
just
today?
I mean, that was an awful attempt.
So that's going
That's
out for
a
a
proper
throw-in.
John O'Shea. That's gone out for a throw-in, yeah.
What a day.
Look at,
What a
look at the
pitch.
sunset in the background.
What
It's
a
beautiful.
pitch.
Firmino on the
Yeah,
ball.
where's
Oh,
our
did you-
invite, Pepsi? Currently 26 degrees in London and we're in a basement.
It is actually baking.
It is
here.
hot. Don't know why I didn't wear shorts. Anyway, you live and you learn.
Half time.
Um,
Did you?
Oh,
Oh,
what
Mane.
a ball.
Someone.
If you are joining us
unnecessary.
here on Total Fans, I keep on wanting to say that. Total.
Hello.
If you're joining us here on Total Football for the
Well
first
done,
time
Mane.
on Eurofootball Daily, please subscribe to the channel. We've had a really intriguing first 22 minutes or so. Liverpool obviously took an early lead and Spurs coming back into it. It's been pretty even so far. And no real clear-cut chances, but a lot of pressure on either box. So it seems like there's more goals in it. Tem, should we get another question in?
Yes, Room Cobra is in the chat.
Hey.
Good old
Big
Room
up,
Cobra.
mate.
Big up the codes.
Hope you're well.
He's bringing up Lucas Moura. Is there a
Oh,
way?
Delhi!
Is there a way Lucas Moura could have played with Harry Kane tonight? Do you think there's a way they could have accommodated both players? Because he seemed to have just got
Zach, what are you
straight
thinking?
for him.
Unless they were to try and place Sissoko in a one-man midfield, it's just not really, and which would have been stupid. It's just not really possible.
Yeah.
I mean, you're having
they've
to
looked
drop.
great apart from the goal.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
the shape's been good.
I think they've actually made the right decision. Of course, Moura scored a hat-trick, which is fantastic, but it's a team game, right? And for this, probably the best formation they could have picked. I mean, that mean they would have meant they would have to either have dropped Ali, Son, or Eriksen, and you don't really see that happening.
The
at
midfield's
all.
not good enough to play 4-3-3. Like,
Yeah.
it's not all well balanced enough, is
Yeah.
it?
I think as soon as you see Harry Kane, if Harry Kane starts, you can't start Kane, Son.
Oh, this
Lucas.
is one from the training
What
ground.
is
It is
This
hard.
is one from the training ground.
Rubbish.
So I think it was inevitable as soon as Kane started. But also, there's no room for sensitivity when you're picking a team for a Champions League final.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to pick. Also, it's been about 3 weeks since that game. You know, players have come back to full fitness. Ali had a knock in the last game of the season. Kane obviously was out. They've been two massive players for
Trippier,
Spurs
get up.
over the last 2-3 years. So,
Get up.
I think Pochettino got his team selection right. And so far, it's just that one error from Moussa Sissoko, which has seen them go 1-0 down. I'm not surprised that Lucas Moura isn't starting. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at 60 minutes come on full of energy.
I fully expect him to come on at some point.
I reckon at half-time we'll see Llorente come on.
Lorente.
Yeah.
Lorente.
Half time, that's a brave shout.
Llorente made...
And you can get bets with Sky Bet. With Sky Bet off.
Who he came on
Against
in another
Ajax.
game. Was it against Ajax?
He was
And he
so
changed
good.
the game
Yeah.
in that
So
one.
good.
Although I
It's
do
a much
think
more
that was-
desperate situation.
And
there, wasn't it?
City.
That was much more kitchen sink territory, whereas this is.
No. Ajax he came on and literally won every single ball.
Yeah, it was the second
Did you
half.
get
It was
City
the-
as
It was
well?
the second half in Amsterdam. He
Against
was
City,
killer.
he
He was
started.
killer.
He started.
But I think in contrast to this game, Spurs were really struggling to keep hold of the ball at all in that game.
Yeah.
And they really couldn't get into the final third at all. I mean, the midfielder, Donny van der Beek, Frankie de Jong and Schöne were completely controlling Spurs. Whereas in this game, I think it's been fairly even in terms of possession. Spurs actually haven't created that many clear-cut opportunities, or even one really. I don't think Alisson's had a save to make. But I think it'd be too early for Llorente to come on. I'd probably expect that final 15 if it was still 1-0.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Rather than half-time. But I like your
You're
ballsy approach.
You're just hoping this makes Tottenham a little more fearless and Liverpool a little more conservative, and it balances the books. But yeah, like you said, that's not really how it's panning out. Liverpool are creating the clearer cut chances, and Spurs are still looking to do them on the counter, and bringing Llorente on doesn't really fit in with that game plan, does it? So.
Here we go.
I mean,
Just
Son's
ahead of
taken up
Son.
a very central position.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's almost playing more as a 10 with Ali a bit further on the left.
It'd
at
be
times.
nice when they've lured Fabinho out a few times, and then they've looked a little bit more vulnerable down the centre. So
You can do that as well. I remember that it was Fabinho that was at fault for one of the goals in the Nou Camp. Obviously, it was a Messi masterclass, but he was getting drawn out of position, and he can obviously do that. He's had a great Champions League campaign, Fabinho, but he's not. Every defensive midfielder makes mistakes at times.
he's been absolutely unreal this season, hasn't he?
And Klopp going for the tracksuit approach. I remember last year, I think he wore a suit.
Did Klopp wear a suit last time?
I think he did.
I remember the last time I saw
Ever
Klopp in a
imagine him in
suit.
a
Yeah,
suit?
it's mental.
Going away from his roots.
I remember him in that. When he's
Tracksuit,
doing
isn't
that,
it?
like when he's got he's like snarling at the fourth official in that GIF. When he's like his teeth are really like coming together. He looks really angry. I think he's wearing a suit in that. But that's the last time I can remember seeing him in a suit.
I might have got that wrong. Let us know in the comments below about Klopp in his suit. Next question, Temps.
Yes, next question is from Nishay, who says, which manager's stock has declined the most this season?
I think that was a Sunday Vibes question.
Yeah, we actually answered this on
did
Content
you?
Club.
Give him a little preview for the people that didn't.
So, well, go back and watch that after this, obviously. But I think, I argued Emery. I was expecting more from Arsenal this year. I expected more from Emery, I think. I think obviously he's got massive issues throughout that squad. Well, not throughout that squad, particularly in defence and in midfield depth, I think. But I think that end to the season was just horrific, really, I'm afraid, Temps. And their performance in that second half in the Europa League final.
He's on. If he's onside.
He's on.
A heavy touch.
Bring him back into Eriksen.
Still taking it in stride, though. Yeah, he's off.
I mean,
That was
Hold on,
very-
that took
that-
ages.
the linesman's taken about 10
That's an
minutes.
That was like a FIFA
Extremely
decision.
hard ball to take. And
feel like
Chris,
he's on
who
control.
was your most disappointing manager?
I can't remember who I said. I think Simeone
He's
was a candidate.
Completely
Although I think I might have touted Simeone for Juventus. The whole Juventus thing feels weird. I think it is going to be Sarri now, isn't it?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
I don't know.
There's a lot of reputable journos, mate, saying that Sarri has to leave not long after the Europa League, and who could blame him given the shit he's had to put up with all season. Some of it warranted, a lot of it not. He was just the Pep Guardiola of this season when people were calling Pep a bold fraud. Do you remember that?
I
That
do.
was fucking embarrassing, wasn't it? But Liverpool have won a free kick in a very promising position in deep in Spurs' half. And let's hope they don't exact that same training ground routine from the corner that surmounted to nothing.
Who would you bring in to replace Sarri then? Because
Lampard,
Frank
and then you'd
Lampard.
finish
a
8th.
transfer
Lampard.
ban.
And you'd
I don't
deserve it.
necessarily think
Take
we'll finish
Lampard
eighth.
out
I
of the
think we'll be alright.
equation.
I think we'll be okay for Lampard.
If you weren't going for Lampard, you've got a transfer ban and Eden Hazard's obviously going to leave. It's a hard job to attract a manager, isn't it?
No, but it is. That's the
why are
thing.
they
Like,
reading that?
it would be Frank Lampard. Like, I think people forget as well. Frank Lampard's like backroom staff are all Chelsea. Jody Morris, like they're all Chelsea. Like,
Joe loves Jody Morris. Smithy.
Jody Morris
Really?
is really
Bloody
good.
loves
Jody
him.
Morris is really good.
Why?
Apparently a lovely guy.
I don't know. It's not
He
the
hasn't
worst
played for
thing.
Spurs,
Like,
though, has he?
I think Frank Lampard's a very risky appointment.
yeah, of course, but I mean,
Considering
it's stupid anyway.
He didn't
Like,
actually improve Derby.
What, you mean the situation
that
or employing Frank Lampard?
no, the situation. You shouldn't be sacking Sarri full stop. I mean, if he's
I think if
he's moving off in his own accord and Juventus are buying out his
contract.
contracts and everything, then sure,
Yeah, I mean, they
it
can
is
just
what
say
it is.
no, can't they?
Exactly, the club can say no, and they should say no. In terms of who you get otherwise, I mean, Allegri is a possibility. There's no other clubs really going to be
He'd be
going
great.
after him.
If
Roberto
that would be
Martinez
an
looks
incredible
If you can
appointment.
take,
off the Barcelona.
but
so.
would you rather keep Sarri or take Allegri? Because it's got to
Keep
a situation
Sarri
now,
because
I think
we've
that's
just spent a season trying to get play his style. We've bought Jorginho to play his style, and then we're trying to change into an attacking team, and then we're going, okay, let's just go back to what we used to do.
Yeah.
When arguably we were in a better position than we are last season, and we're progressing from playing defensive football into an attacking, dominant, possession-based football.
I am bored of saying it as well. You were the third best team.
Yeah,
statistically
exactly.
in
Like,
England.
Yeah, by quite a distance as well. I think they were 10 expected points above the fourth best. And people have short-term memories. You know, he
really do.
went 12 games unbeaten at the start. He didn't lose a game until mid-November, which was actually against Spurs.
I think
he had a tragic sort of mid-January to early March, like awful. including that 6-0 jobby at the Etihad. Obviously, I think they got battered by Everton as well at that
They got
time.
battered by Bournemouth as well, didn't
Got
they? Which is
battered
the
by
biggest
Bournemouth.
defeat of a team this season.
The
Forgot
issue,
about that.
the issue.
No,
though,
it can't be. It must have been
City
when they
was-
lost 6-0.
Yeah, City. You lost 6-0. Bournemouth beat
Maybe
us
they're
4.
second.
Was it 6-0? Was 6-0 in the cup, or was it in the
No,
league?
it was in the
It was in the
league.
league, yeah. It was a
league,
weird
yeah.
one. Weird things
Yeah.
like that happen.
Well, quiz
though.
time with Dorman's wrong. That's where I got that stat from.
Oh my
Oh.
days.
Don't mean to throw Dorman in the bus, but you know,
We
I
were
would have
waiting for
no
this moment.
qualms with doing so.
The issue, though, has been, I think that fans have had is the way he's been
His attitude.
in the media and his attitude
No, I
towards
quite
the
like
fans.
that.
like
He
that.
doesn't. He just doesn't
Sure,
really care what they
sure, but that's not how the fans like it, right? The Chelsea fans especially want a manager to be like because we've had Jose Mourinho, we've had Antonio Conte.
It puzzles me.
Managers who go,
Puzzles me.
it's all about the fans. We're so sorry to the fans. This for the
There's
fans.
no consistency with this argument, like in that people, you know, either love or hate Klopp for his touchline antics, or
yeah, exactly.
Danny Rose. Come on, that was looking like a decent little move down the left-hand side for Spurs. Like Puel essentially got the sack from Leicester because people thought he was boring and uninspiring when actually Leicester's underlying numbers were very, very good. I mean, there's who else do people think at the very top? Like Guardiola can be quite cagey. He can say some quite controversial things. It's just
Exactly.
I think like Sarri was just kind of being punished for being like
nonchalant and
the
Italian.
new
There we go.
European flavour of the season.
Exactly,
You know,
and
when
I
someone,
think-
someone tries to change
Well, it's
the
a big
existing
moment.
the like dogma at a club. Someone's like, you can't do that.
And also,
can't
you know,
come in
and
expect
also,
to
you know, he
succeed
was the
in first year.
he was like the hipsters manager as well, and no one everyone was like, look at this, he's not going to be able to bring Sarri ball to
See
Premier
photos
League.
of 10
Look at
years ago,
this.
not very hipster, mate.
Yeah,
His teeth
indeed.
look like those of a crackhead.
Indeed. He's also his brother looks identical to him, but
Smokes his all like is what they're called incisive.
in relation to your question, Temps, I do think we can attract a manager. We've got Champions League football. We've got very good players in our youth academy
It's only a
and
two-win-
in our
it's
system.
only a 2 transfer ban.
Exactly.
It's only a
Yeah,
true
but your
window
managers
ban.
don't last longer than 2 years. So
Okay.
that next amount of appointment's going to have to be there to just maintain, isn't it?
Not at all, because not at all. They've just got to be there for like. I will be very surprised if Sarri leaves, because the fact he'd be there for only a season
He'd be the
would be
perfect-
shocking.
I mean, also
Perfect
look
scenario
at
for
what
him.
we've seen tonight. We're effectively watching a team who've had a 2-window ban, self-imposed. They've reached the Champions League final.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just as simple as they can't sign
Come on,
players.
Dele.
They're completely
Come on,
screwed.
Dele.
Especially
Come on,
when
Dele.
First time he's had
No way.
Go for the corner. Go for the corner.
Especially when they've had, they've got a good squad. Yes, there's weaknesses in it, but they've also got some fantastic loanees who are out on loan at the moment, like Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Tomori at Derby as well has looked useful this year as well. Not obviously ready, probably to
And
get straight
also
into a
feel- I
Premier
also
League
feel
defence.
But
Really?
how many of them have come into the first team
Well, this is
equation?
it. I did-
yeah.
I think maybe Mason
How
Mount.
many
Yeah,
get-
like
Yeah.
Reece James
Back
as
out.
well, but like ideally you'd want
But what do you
maybe him
expect?
and Tammy to get another year under the belt.
But I don't know. What would you expect them to like? Every one of our loanees to come to the first team? It will never happen ever. But so if we can take one kid each year, possibly get him in the first team, or try him out minimum. I think that's the best solution we could hope for. We had Hudson-Odoi happen this year. Next year, if it's Mason Mount and Reece James, that's fantastic. I mean, if Tammy Abraham does stay and gets at least a trial, because that I think is what he needs over maybe
Would you not
over
want him to
maybe
stay
a
at Villa for
try.
another year? I would if I was.
I actually, with Higuain going, I wouldn't be against.
Is he
Tammy-
going? Is that confirmed?
From what
I've not
I've
seen
from
that
what I've
this week.
seen,
You can't sign
Higuain.
him, can you?
We can sign
You can
Higuain.
sign
We
him.
can
Yeah, because
sign
he's already
Higuain.
registered.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like we can
That's
sign.
the
We can also
issue,
sign. We
registering
can also
players,
sign Kovacic as well. So that could possibly happen.
His
gen-
performance in the
Um,
final might have changed
Yeah,
a few
exactly.
opinions.
Yeah, exactly. He was very good. in the
Almost as
Europa
if he's
League
not a bad
final.
player.
Indeed.
I can't pretend that I've watched 90 minutes of Derby every week, but when I have, I think Mason Mount looks the most likely to come slot in.
Mason Mount does look good. Harry Wilson also looks, but he's not Chelsea.
I think he's
is
got
he?
nine goals,
I
4
think-
assists this year, backing up a good year at Vitesse as well. And
Where do you
Chelsea's
think
a
he
lot of-
plays on the wing?
I put him as the sort of left-sided midfielder. I think your
What,
main,
over Ruben?
Well, I think your issue. Well, Ruben's obviously injured for quite a long time. If you don't
Okay,
get
yeah,
Kovacic,
sure, okay, yeah.
this is Kovacic dependent, obviously. But I think the main issue with Chelsea this year is you play three midfielders who I think are best in the defensive role in midfield.
Yeah, I
and there's
agree.
been a massive drop off in terms of goal output compared to Sarri's last year in midfield. I remember writing a scout report on how they can survive it. And their four main midfielders in his last year at Napoli contributed 29 league goals between them. Chelsea's only contributed about 18, which doesn't sound like a massive drop-off, but when you're having strikers that are really struggling to find the net on a consistent basis,
Musa.
it's a huge
Well
drop-off.
played.
So adding a bit more goals in midfield I think
that's
it
right,
will go amiss.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
you've seen that as well. Sorry, I think you've seen that as well when Ruben has played in midfield because he is getting
particularly in
onto the
Europa
goals.
League.
Yeah,
he gets in good
actually
areas.
fair few.
a midfielder that is actually wanting to drive and wanting to attack.
Yeah,
I think.
Mason Mount could. I think he could be that guy, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek is much more kind of qualified at this point, isn't he? Mason Mount's actually putting up he's much less dribbly than Odegaard, but they were kind of putting up similar numbers at Vitesse. Like his key passes are outrageous. Like goals for an attacking midfielder are outrageous.
Yeah.
So I think Mason Mount is ready to be like blooded into a side, isn't he?
Yeah.
But not someone you go,
Instant
we've
starter.
lost Eden Hazard. Do you reckon you can contribute to like 10 assists, 5 goals?
No.
That'd be great.
That's my
You
worry-
and-
that's
you
my
and
worry.
Pulisic split the load?
That's my worry for Pulisic next season.
Yeah.
Too
People are
much
going to be
expectation.
expecting him to essentially be our Hazard.
That's interesting. So we've
No,
just
but
had the
Chelsea fans
possession.
are really patient, mate. So
We've just had the possession stats come up on screen. Spurs have had 65% possession.
I reckon that's about right.
And Liverpool have had 35, but have had, I think it was 4 shots to 2, I think I
Yeah.
just saw.
I wouldn't say a lot of Spurs' possession has been in Liverpool's.
After a pretty frantic
even.
first 20, it's sort of calmed down last 2015 or so, Chris, hasn't it?
Yeah, Spurs have had a little bit more control of the ball in their own half, haven't they? Kind of taking the sting out of the game. But yeah, Liverpool have looked a little more reluctant to bomb on after Son got in down the centre twice, which is good from a Spurs perspective. The fullbacks, well, particularly Robertson's been a little bit more reserved over the last 5-10. Sissoko making a few nice breaks there, and yeah, he's just giving the ball away. Beautiful. Great time.
He hasn't just given the ball away, he's literally turned on the half turn and boosted it 60 yards without looking.
But that's
Bizarre.
The pressure that Spurs are putting on, by the way, is it's a fantastic.
Look at that from
Wow.
Fabinho. There's the
Dealt
difference.
Was that
that
Fabinho or Matip?
incredibly
I'm not
well.
sure.
If that was Joel Matip, that is outrageous.
Why is he shooting from there?
Oh!
Nearly shush it.
Oh,
Shut up,
Andy.
Thames.
Mate, he almost took the skin off to Stegen's hands in it.
Delivery.
in the game at
I was
Anfield.
Was that a save or did that go over?
So I
He saved
you
it.
got to back him to take these shots on. Did he get a fingertip? He did.
Yeah,
He did.
he has to.
There you go,
That's fine, straight
fingertips.
He needs to. It's going in.
So just as I said, Robertson's been less adventurous, and we'll kind of praise in Sissoko. Sissoko gives the ball away. Fabinho plays an outrageous ball. Fabinho or Matip. An outrageous ball down the left-hand side, and then all of a sudden Robertson's got the freedom of the left wing again. It's ebbing and flowing. It's pretty hard.
A massive corner for Liverpool as well. I think they've had about 5 or 6, but
they've
none
not
of
put
them.
them in well.
I don't think they've had a shot from a corner yet, except for Mo Salah's wild
Salah.
effort from a half volley from the edge of the area. So the corner routines for Liverpool not going as well as they did, at least against Barcelona.
no.
This is worrying signs. Zach, what are we seeing?
Another shoulder.
Jan Vertonghen is on the
Dislocated
floor
arm.
holding his elbow by the looks of it. I mean, it looks like he might have done it through that
Corner.
It's from the corner, surely.
attempted block. But, I mean, the replays are going
Yeah, I mean,
mental on screen.
Spanish TV are having an absolute shocker there.
They've got the medical team on there. They've got Foyth and Sanchez on the bench. Sanchez is probably the most.
Expect it to be 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably
However, he has had a few shaky moments in the Champions League this
Yeah.
season, Sanchez. Ideally, you'd want to keep Vertonghen on there.
One of the few positions they can actually cover, but like you said, Foyth's a little bit of a head case, isn't he? I like him. He's exciting to watch, and he's probably better off at fullback for the time being. But you're like, oh god, no, Foyth is dribbling it out of defence.
Yeah.
Like every time you see him.
Yeah, I mean, it's particularly
Yeah,
that game
that's
against.
right.
I think
That
it
was
was
a
against
goal. I just
Bournemouth
missed
that
that.
he got sent off.
Oh, was it innocuous? When it's like that, you do
It's
think
from a
it's
corner.
nice.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
from the
no.
corner. Yeah,
Has he
Yeah.
dislocated his elbow?
The season he's
No,
had
no,
for
he's
Spurs
not
as
coming.
well.
He's not coming off. He's not coming
Yeah,
off.
it'd be such a shame if he had to come off because he's been has he been player of the season 2 years in a row?
No, Sissoko won it.
Oh, we're not before this one.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
quite possibly.
And given like the seasons that Harry Kane's had, and it's either players player or fans player.
He's
I can't
been
remember.
fantastic.
But Smithy always
He's
talks
been
about
fantastic
it on
every
So consistent.
season since he joined, hasn't he?
I mean, him and Alderweireld, considering where he was at the back end of last year, I think he only started 10 Premier League games last year. The way that Pochettino has got the most out of Sissoko, Rose as well, who's pretty disillusioned with life at Spurs, back end of last year, now
Reeled him
has
back in, hasn't he?
completely displaced Davies as first choice left back. Alderweireld has looked somewhere near his best this year, if not quite as commanding as, say, 2 years ago.
Trippier's giving away about 3
I'll be honest, yeah,
kicks here.
Trippier's
What's he
having-
doing? It's a free kick.
Trippier's having a very hard time in this game.
Just a quick reminder, if you are joining us here on
Salah's
Total
in
Football on
space,
EFD for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We've got Liverpool on the attack, mopped up by
Praise
Sissoko.
He's doing his bit, isn't he, Sissoko?
Yeah.
Let's
Bless
get a
him.
question in there. Let's get a couple of questions in before half time.
Yeah, Matthew wants to know who we think will be most likely to score next. Do you see Spurs grabbing one back or Liverpool taking a lead
I
further?
mean, Spurs have before about a minute or two ago. Spurs were on the
Without
the
really
better
creating
side.
that much, though.
Yeah, Ali did get through. I mean, I feel like so far Spurs are just lacking that final ball.
Oh, this could be it.
Go on, Bobby, have a pop.
Play it
Play
out
it out
wide.
wide, yeah. Hendo.
So we had Firmino picking up at a good
Oh,
area.
yeah.
How many
Is that
corners
another
have we had
corner?
in this
That
half?
must be
There's a
6 or
lot.
7.
I mean, to Tottenham's, to give them some credit, they're limiting Liverpool to kind of half chances, low quality shots from outside the box. They're very compact when Liverpool have got the ball. But then that does mean that they are relying on Son to beat 3 men from 60 yards out.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that Lurie save from Robertson might be the only save we've seen this half.
Really?
Quite possibly.
I can't.
Oh, well done,
great
Harry
hanging
Harry
ball
Kane, I
from
think,
Trent.
headed that away.
How do you feel about
Another
Harry
corner.
Kane so far?
Another corner.
Mo Salah has had 11 shots.
How many on target?
Yeah,
Yeah.
1.
Kane so far, quiet, I think. Haven't seen a lot of him, but not disastrous either. But
Exactly.
hasn't looked quite at his
Really
best. But then I
struggling to
don't.
get the ball to
Yeah,
him.
I think he's been very
He's
isolated.
dropping
to be honest.
in a lot.
I think it seems a bit harsh to blame him. But Liverpool, yet another corner. This must be 7 or 8 so far. They're going for a Salah on an outswinger. Hopefully this brings a bit more luck from
Statistically,
the Trent
the
in-swingers.
most unlikely place you'll score from a corner.
Really?
Yeah, in football.
Yeah. if they kick
I
them
just
in
feel
that zone.
like bring back that set piece that didn't work. You know,
Over one field angle
because
and
the
then come
corners,
back.
the regular corners have been even worse.
Yeah.
Come on then, Liverpool.
You might have a point.
Let's have some more
Okay,
coherent
Zachary.
attacks.
You
It's very
are-
scrappy, hasn't it, last time?
You are Mauricio Pochettino at half time. What are you saying to your troops? Are you changing anything?
I think I say half of it in Spanish, and be like, I only hope half of them understand it. And it just riled me up if it was in Spanish, just shouting, pure shouting. Look, I think he essentially be saying we've got to carry on doing what we are doing, right? They aren't, apart from one very silly mistake. It's not like they are playing badly or that Liverpool are dominating them. It's been an even game, apart from just a handful.
Tell you what, Hendo and Fabinho, they're starting to win that midfield battle. Like they are winning it in winning it back in good,
No, I think we
good
always
positions.
We always suspected that though, right? I don't think
Van Dijk
get on the
just
turf.
completely dealing with Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, yeah.
Matip and Kane, Matip and Van Dijk have been so assured so far. I've been really impressed with them.
Not an awful lot to do apart from the sun down.
But they just made it look so
well
easy.
done, Danny Rose.
But Henderson and Fabinho, I'd say they're.
Go on, drive Delhi.
Right, it's potentially a 3-on-3.
Delhi.
Fabinho being quite slow to get back here.
That's what I mean. It's that little bit. It's that little bit
really
too
well
much onto
marshalled
it.
by the Liverpool defenders there. Just
I think basically Poch needs to do what he told them against Ajax.
add new manager.
Apparently it was actually Harry Kane that inspired the second half comeback from what I've heard. Apparently he did a great bit of oratory, which got him going.
That was in.
Let's go!
I read an interview by Poch early on today, and he was like, "I don't remember Harry Kane doing that. We might have been in different rooms or in different parts of the changing room." So I think people have exaggerated that
Really?
massively. But I'd love to. I would defend Harry Kane. As in people say, sounds a little bit uninspiring, but I think actually
It leads by example, I think.
comes off like a reasonably intelligent or an intelligent and reasonable human being in most patches.
I mean, you don't all have to be
post-match press conferences.
the Winston Churchill of speech making to inspire a team.
That's a
So
good
it can
ball.
just be a one moment, one tackle, one bit
Although-
of skill.
Although the Rafa Benitez speech half time, when he's like, "Give yourself the chance to be heroes."
Yeah.
God, that still gives me
Shivers.
goosebumps.
And Chris, in contrast, you're Jurgen. You got the specs.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Lacking about a foot and a half. I would want to see them be a little bit more coherent in attack. There's been a lot of balls in the channel to Salah. Salah's taking a lot of efforts from out wide, isn't he? And from the edge of the box. Like, you want Salah in the box, cutting in on that left foot, don't you?
Here you go.
I'd also say, lads.
Wide left.
Here you go.
Got to take a shot.
Oh,
I'd
Ericsson,
also
man.
say,
Why put it onto your weak foot?
like Fabinho or Henderson, although you're winning it back in really promising positions, why don't one of you just drop on Son every now and then? Because he's like kind of pulling the strings in the centre of midfield for Spurs. He's been the most prominent player by far. I think it's very much a case of as is, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been really even, actually, in many ways, except for that
That is the worst shot.
26 second hand ball. Which
If that wins the final, then
I just don't think it
It's
will.
so
Surely
sad.
they're going to have to turn it on second half. But you
the
know,
FD's cancelled.
at the moment, it's making all the difference. I've actually been quite impressed with how Harry Winks has used the ball so far as well. I think he's been quite useful. Sissoko causing a lot of damage in midfield as well, but they're not. I mean, neither side have really created that many clear-cut opportunities. We'll be hoping for a better standard.
There's been
I
a
think, in
lot
the
of
second half.
these
It's been
kind of
very
balls.
finally,
So
hasn't
many
it?
long balls.
A
For
lot
want
of
of a better
long
word.
Feels like championship.
God,
That's
Van
not
Dijk.
Van Dijk. That's not like Van Dijk.
Yeah, I mean, we saw such thrilling semi-finals. I think we just probably expected more drama at the.
Reminds me
We
of
have
that
been
games
we've
red.
been treated so well in the Champions League this year that maybe this is how it ends.
But finals are very rarely like super competitive, are they? I mean, Real Madrid have smashed like it's gone to extra time. I said it once with Atletico, and then they
was a
smashed them
great
4-1.
That was a really good game.
Didn't they beat Juve
Give me
3-1 as well?
4-1, wasn't it?
Sorry, not that they're not super competitive. They're just not super high in quality, are they? 'Cause
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
Well, understandably, players are a little bit, like
Nervous.
within
shit.
themselves.
Yeah,
you don't want to do anything stupid.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
first 20 seconds,
I
moves to Sissoko.
I remember like playing in school finals when I was younger. I was scared then. Imagine
Yeah.
being a professional. It'd be mental.
I mean, at the moment, it looks like Liverpool are going to avoid becoming just the third side to win back-to-back Champions League finals.
I'd be bringing you on
Half
up
time.
front, Jalab, in the
Me.
70th minute.
Alan
Alan
Jalab.
Jalab.
Like Stephen Culker. Do you remember when he went on
Or
loan?
David James.
He went on loan. Yeah, David James.
Both of them.
Thames, let's get some
mate.
half-time questions. Also, if you're joining us, welcome aboard. We are watching the Champions League final, as you can tell from the title. It is 1-0 Liverpool.
I thought you were in the wrong place.
Salah with a penalty. Otherwise, not that much drama on the pitch, but it's been very, very tight affair. Please subscribe to the channel. We do these live streams all the time. Also, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Half-time temps. Let's get some questions. in.
We've got quick-fire questions from our Discord gang.
Nice.
Go on,
If
Discord
If you want to
gang.
join our Discord, Mike Atkins is going to put the link in the chat right now.
And Reddit page.
And Reddit page as
Make
well.
some Champions League
I'm
memes.
actually going to
Also
use
very
this
good.
opportunity, I'm afraid, guys, to do attempts.
So most of these are
You
from
boys need to
Menes.
sort out your bladders.
Most of these
jeez.
are from Menes and Room Cobra, Finley.
Yeah, big up.
the
I love them.
consistent contributors.
The old guard.
Um,
Let's hope that Doogie turns his mic off, by the way.
Otherwise, you
Yeah, I
guys are
don't
going to
hear
have a
that.
treat.
First question is, what is a realistic expectation for each of your clubs next season? This doesn't feel
Oh,
very quick fire,
okay.
this first one, does it?
For Sunderland, I'll talk for Doogie.
Promotion back to the Championship. done.
Promotion back to the Championship.
Chelsea.
yeah.
Jack Ross to lead them to
Chelsea.
the promised lands.
Chelsea, if we can, realistic, if we can get top 6, fantastic. A bit above that, Champions League football. Without the transfer window, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a very hard season, especially when we don't know who's going to be managing us next year, like most seasons. So let's hope for the best. As for Celtic, do the treble again?
The quad treble, mate. How'd you like those apples? Listen, it's going to be really interesting. Neil Lennon's taken over on a 12-month rolling contract. I think that, under bizarre circumstances, Lorwell, our kind of chief operator, offering him the job in the showers after the treble was secured. I think if you interview 15 high quality managers and you still think Neil Lennon is the right person at the end of that process, then by all means hire him again. Like, his record is very good. His win percentage is actually better than Brendan Rodgers. However, it seems a little bit safe. It seems a little bit uninspiring. It feels like we're letting Rangers kind of make up yardage on us. And Neil Lennon always had to operate. He's actually a pretty good spotter of talent. Always had to operate on a very cheap budget to find talent, and I feel like that might be the case again. So yeah, scouring Eastern Europe for people that I've never heard of, mate. That's how I see Arsenal unfolding.
Arsenal's, please buy some defensive players in the summer. That's all I really want, is to improve upon our away record, improve upon our defensive record, and push for top 4. Actually make a good push for top 4, not a push for top 4 like we did this season where we lost about 5 really easy games which we should have beaten. Hopefully top 4 for Arsenal next season.
We said Sunderland will get promoted.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to happen. Anything to cheer about. It's been since 1973 that we
Cool,
really
next
had
one.
anything to cheer about.
Next one. Who would look better? Zach with Doogie's hair or Doogie with Zach's hair?
What a question.
You with mine.
You've
This is
both
my
got decent
favourite
facial hair, though, haven't you?
I don't have great hair, but I actually think I'd look really bad with that on me.
Someone
I
in
think-
the
Imagine that
Discord-
voice coming out of with that hair.
That
That'd
is
be
just,
absolutely ridiculous.
that's a lot for this. It's just a lot to deal with.
Can
I'm
someone...
actually, I'd
Zach
rather.
looks like
Someone
he's
Photoshop.
Zach looks like he's won.
Those of us look directly at the camera. so
Menez,
someone's got a good one.
Rim Cobra, sort that out.
Me and
Let's see
Chris
what it
will
would
have
look
a shot
like.
of it.
Zach looks like
Photoshop
he's
us.
won like Algerian X Factor. Like he's got that like boy bandy hair, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got put into a group. He came on as a
was
sub.
it-
He got put into a group.
He got put into a group. That's such a good shout. Oh my god, I'd love that
I'll
to happen.
take it.
Jelab, what was it? Educating Jelab.
Educated
Winning
Jelab boy
Algeria's
band.
next.
I was quite surprised
Next
on
one.
our awkward FIFA news strand on FTFC that McCubbin got given worst hair over me. I thought that was quite brutal.
Yeah, but I mean,
think
there's
you
not
haven't
much you
really
can do
got
with
hair,
yours.
do
You've been very kind of dignified about it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, you
been
do
quite
shave your own
unfortunate.
hair.
I
I do
do
feel
shave
like
my own
you
hair.
could just go to the barbers, mate. But
I'm saving a tenner every time.
yeah, are you though? Like when you
Let's
take
do
a
that
chunk
on
of your
Total
hair out the back.
That was a mistake, to be fair. But the last time I did it, it was
Do you
excellent.
not remember?
It was
He
excellent.
did his mates and he went on two
You know,
dates.
have you
Yeah,
not?
he's now going out with my housemate. So if anyone's looking for a haircut / girlfriend, give me a.
What I wanted to say to you, mate. Have you seen
What a
those?
deal.
I saw these advertised on the tube. They're these razors that, or what do you call them?
Yeah,
That
I've
fit
seen
your
them
hand
as well.
and
And
you
you
can
go
just
like
go,
this. But that is for
Oh,
a
yeah,
complete
those,
baldy
yeah.
locks.
We should get you that.
Yeah,
for your
you
next
could do.
birthday.
You could do. Yeah, 26
By
coming
which
up.
time you'll be completely
Completely gone. Completely gone.
It's only won't need it.
Fair enough.
But you've got a beard to pull off being bald. You just have to
Yeah.
get a little bit taller.
I did
and
read
everyone will be
that when
like,
I was younger, actually, that if
Yeah.
you're bald, you need
Posh
to
Ross
get a beard on because it brings the attention away from the egg.
Yeah. But if you had my facial hair and your actual lid,
It'd be
all
a
sorts
lot
of trouble.
Yeah, big time.
Like when
Big
this
time.
goes, I'm done.
Lucky,
Girlfriend's
yeah,
leaving me.
Yeah, he is
lucky
done.
yet extremely unlucky. Temps, what's the next quick first?
What was the first football match you ever went to?
Oh, Zachary, do you remember yours?
Talk us
England,
through it.
England versus.
You went to an England game first up.
Yeah, my uncle took me. I was in primary school and I left early. I was like, where the hell am I? To my nan's.
shit,
And I was like, where am I going? Yeah, and I went to go watch, big surprise, I watched England versus Ukraine?
Right.
Ukraine, yeah, that's where Shevchenko's from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ukraine. When we won 2-1, Peter Crouch with a scissor kick, Shevchenko penalty, and then John Terry scoring a header in the 80th minute.
Your hero.
And I actually remember, I feel like he pointed at me. He didn't. But I certainly pointed at me when I was
That's
younger.
such a
He
niche
mouthed
game.
to the
Fair
camera.
enough.
Jelab.
I think my first game was Boxing Day 2005, I want to say. Sunderland Everton at the Stadium of Light. Absolutely freezing. It was pretty miserable. I think we lost as well. Not a good occasion. What was yours, Chris?
I was about 9, and it was Celtic Leicester, and a part of the deal for taking Martin O'Neill off Leicester was that we played them in a pre-season friendly for the next 2 seasons, because Celtic always just took a really good travelling crowd. So I guess it was a bit of a money spinner pre-season. Back when there was less money in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So 2000, 2001 maybe, Celtic versus Leicester. My first kit, well, not my first Celtic kit, but I remember wearing the yellow NTL kit
Oh, wow.
to the game when
sounds
Celtic were
bold.
absolutely class, and I really wish I'd been older and took in
Being
the
able
likes
to
of
appreciate it.
Larson and Sutton and
Oh, was that
Paul
team?
Lambert and
Fair
yeah.
enough.
Look at that
The
handball.
peak. We're just seeing the handball again. Zach, have you... I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Zach? Now?
It is what it is.
It's the defining moment of this game.
I feel like players, it's going to be like next year as well in corners. I think it's going to take a little while for players to get used to it, because all he's doing is actually quite like harmless, right? He's just telling his man that Jordan Henderson is coming on. However, like it will be with corners and how many, like with VAR next year, players are going to have to get used to literally having their hands inside
I
their
feel
body.
like
really.
a lot of Spurs players there were just like, oh shit, that's a penalty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's not
Seen
much you can do.
Alderweireld there just being like, Musa,
Yeah,
what have you done?
Wow, what was he
No.
thinking? Doesn't even
I
really
mean,
make
he even
sense.
like it hits his body first and then hits his hand, and it's like,
But it's, the new laws, there's no real debate about that. It's a clear penalty, but it's just...
But his hand's there for a good 2 or 3
It's a
seconds.
stupid thing to do, man.
You
Oh.
can't, when you're defending the box and a cross is about to come in, you can't have your hand
That's-
out like
yeah,
that, can you?
that's-
It's a bit amateurish, but he's played well apart from that, to be fair.
100%.
I wonder what Peter Walton's saying. We don't know.
Exactly, and as Chris said earlier, one of their player of the year, he's been absolutely superb, particularly in the Champions League. So it's just devastating for him. Temps, should we get another question?
he's done 3 quick.
Do you not want to
fires.
know my first
All
football
right.
match?
Sorry,
yeah,
mate,
sorry,
go on.
Temps. What was your first match?
No.
My first one was Ipswich versus Leicester at Portman Road. It was a midweek game, and the floodlights gave me such a headache that I threw up in my hat. But But we won. It gave me a headache. I just kept looking at the
Do you have a
floodlights.
migraine?
Yeah, I had a migraine. Just threw up at the end.
Oh,
of
I bet your dad was really
My dad
glad
was
that
like,
he bought
"What?
it,
We
yeah.
bring it to one game. We can't."
Do you,
handle it."
is that a thing that you often struggle with, lights? Are we
No,
gonna see you
that's the
vomit in
only
here
time
in a
it's
second?
ever happened in my
How
life.
long were you looking at it for?
I don't know. The game must have been that.
Please,
good.
can you do that in the
Staring at
second
floodlights.
half?
When you were younger, were you a moth?
We won
open the door
2-1,
as well,
and
so
James
hot.
Scowcroft scored twice. So they were fast.
We need more drama in this second half. Can you
We
just
do.
stare at that lamp and throw up?
I'll probably,
Yeah.
if Spurs win, I will throw up.
Do you remember? Do you remember like when you went to your first football match? Did you enjoy it? I remember
Yeah.
my dad taking me to Leicester Millwall in like December, and it was about -10, and it was like 0-0, and it was 60 minutes, and I've been like braving the cold for ages until then. I was like, Dad, can we go? And he was like, oh thank God. And we just left after like an hour.
I remember the noise.
Took me about a good 6 months to get back to a game after that.
I remember the noise in Wembley, like, because compared to, because I'd only ever seen him on TV before that. I remember the noise being like, oh God, like this is mad.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I remember not
It's such a
really
cool stadium,
knowing where
Wembley,
to
isn't it?
look. I remember
Yeah.
just like staring at players off the ball and just being like, wow, this is
I always
better
thought it was
than the game.
It was I always thought
Just watching the keeper like take a swig of water while the ball's in the other.
That's
Like, what's he
exactly what my
doing?
mum does when she goes to the game.
Stadiums are much nicer places now.
yeah.
You know, and you see like little kids, you know, their kind of parents have recorded them like going out onto the pitch and they're all wide-eyed and everything's like pristine and wonderful.
Yeah.
Like,
Back then,
going into the toilets at Filbert Street early 2000 and just being like swamped in piss when you were like 8 or 9. You're just like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, not as great. But yeah, stadium's pretty good now in the Premier League. But that
Yeah,
did take
people
it to
are
the mid 2000s.
People are spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I went to Brentford's ground with McCubbin.
Griffin
One
Park.
at Griffin Park. They're obviously moving into a new one. In the process of moving to a new one now. Wow, I mean it's historic and it's like pretty cool.
There's a
but you're
pillar
like,
in the way.
There's loads of pillars.
Yeah.
Awful.
I remember because I remember doing a work experience at a local radio station. They went to ask me to go cover a game. I was sitting behind a pillar. I was like, I can see 1/3 of the pitch. Anyway.
What a report that was.
Yeah, it was brutal.
missed
Not
2
good.
goals.
Let's have another question, Temps, or
Another
a couple of quick fires anyway.
Another quick fire. What is the weirdest food combination that you enjoy?
I really couldn't tell off the top of my head, man.
Do I do any weird things with food?
Banana and peanut bar. That's really
No,
That's
that's
not
pretty
weird.
standard. It's pretty good.
Mine,
I don't like that, but
My weird one that
I don't like either of those
I
flavors.
tell people I do and they get freaked out by it, and I still don't know why it's that weird. A pot noodle with hula
Oh, he's
hoops
told me this.
in
yeah,
the
he's
pot
been
noodle, and then I mix it all up and then I have hula hoops
Yeah.
swimming around with.
It's
the
not
pot
weird.
noodle.
It's just odd.
How's that weird?
it's like
I've
crisps
just
on
never
salad.
heard-
Sometimes add a bit of texture.
His weirdest one is a scrambled egg sandwich, not
No, I
toasted
don't mind
bread.
that either.
No, it's toasted. This
No,
is what we
it
had the
wasn't
argument.
toasted.
It
Yeah.
was toasted.
But even if it's
It was
toasted.
but even if it's bread, I don't think that's weird. I think that's fine.
I, mean, I actually remember, like, he was shocked, and I was like, it's toasted.
It didn't look very toasted. to me.
Sometimes, like various members of my family will look at me like, oh, that's classless when you put a bit like tomato sauce on like a lasagna.
Whoever puts crisps
Oh, I liked
in their,
that.
in their
Tomato sauce on a
sandwich
Yeah.
can leave.
Yeah.
Tomato sauce in it anyway.
Yeah, that's just a bit of extra.
Does anyone
tomato
else-
sauce.
Whenever I
Like
see- whenever I
Lenny
see
from
you-
Advice and Men, I just want
Yeah.
extra tomato sauce and everything, mate.
Whenever I see you buy a sandwich from
Result.
Sainsbury's and then open your crisp packet and start layering them in
Crisps
there,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
That's
What,
that's
crisp
not
sandwich?
That's so
Odd. Yeah,
normal.
that's not odd.
Chips and gravy. They won you
Oh,
over, didn't they, when
chips
you were at
and gravy is
university?
Yeah, I love
Amazing.
chips and
That's
gravy.
one of my
I
favourites.
also like mayonnaise on cucumber, but is that weird? I'm not
What, I mean,
sure.
what, specifically just on the cucumber?
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah, I
having
mean,
a bit
that's
of
weird.
cucumber.
Yeah, if you've got it as part of a sandwich, fine. What are you doing?
Like
you
an
freak?
order.
I like
Very
mayo on
odd.
just about anything. But yeah, other than that, I'm a bit boring food-wise, I think.
Really?
Very British only, really.
Very Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit when it comes to my diet.
Yeah, it's very beige, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next question.
It's like Kieran's as well.
I thought we were going to get better
Kieran-
answers.
Kieran
I'll be
eats-
honest.
I don't know, man. I really
Kieran
don't.
eats exclusively yellow things, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he eats beige food.
Kieran,
That's it.
with Kieran's food, he likes to have it as hot as possible, so he's crying.
He is the
Ooh.
fussiest
Hot
eater
sauce
I've ever
or
met.
Yeah, hot sauce,
Heat.
hot sauce.
Oh.
Dorman brings the
Yeah.
worst lunches into the office. They stink.
Yeah, never ever.
Putting tuna or salmon in the microwave.
Broccoli.
Oh,
And broccoli
God.
is unacceptable.
Oh, the
That's
Haddock gate as
awful
well.
decorum.
It keeps him quiet. So it's fine. It's absolutely
Yeah, he eats
fine.
quite clean though, doesn't he? It's quite healthy, but
It
it
is
stinks.
Thames, next
Next
quick fire.
question. If you could go to any game throughout history, which game would you have attended?
That's a
and
great
why?
question. Obvious answer, but I think
Go on.
Istanbul 2005. I'd love to have gone there. I just think it's such an iconic game.
Not
Is it
picking
what
a-
like any fixture or any past fixture?
any past fixture?
Past fixture, right?
Past
okay.
fixture. That You wouldn't pick a Sunderland game, so you go as a neutral.
We actually haven't had that many good games. It is brutal to say, but there's not that many. Maybe the League Cup final in 2014, but we lost 3-1. So.
Celtic winning the Champions League, obviously, the European Cup back then. And then they're in the final 2 years later again. So I suppose at the time that Celtic was so dominant in Europe that it kind of felt like, you know, this won't be the last time in 50 years that we're really strong in Europe again.
Little did they know.
Yeah, little did they know. Scottish football, yeah, awful. But maybe the Lisbon Lions.
Algeria when they won the African Cup of Nations.
Nice. When was that?
Oh God
Very
knows, a
patient.
while back. But it would be an absolute party. It would be an absolute party in the streets. When
Have you been to a game?
When
in
Algeria beat, it was
So they get involved.
not. I've been to a club game.
What's the food
in Algeria.
like at matches? Is it like falafel? Is it like? Do they replace like
Falafel's
crappy
not-
burgers
falafel's
with
not really
like
a big
nice
thing.
North African? Yeah, like
I don't know. I've never
Lamb
actually
kebabs.
had a food at a football game in Algeria.
I'd be so into that though. A little bit of meze before
Oh
a game.
yeah.
I'd be sick.
Bit of feta
A
on
bit
the
of
side.
rice. No, but when Algeria beat Germany, progressed to play Germany
Yeah.
in the World Cup, the parties that were on the streets there were mental. It was so sick. So when they won the African Cup of Nations, it must have gone absolutely mad. Either that or the 2012
Popped
Champions League
off.
final.
Thames, what are you going for?
Probably the final game of the season where Arsenal finished as invincibles.
At White Hart Lane.
At White Hart Lane would have been the one for me.
Fair.
Either that or the last game at Highbury. Would have loved to have been there for that.
Yeah.
was
Yeah, I
very
wish I'd
emotional.
gone to Highbury.
I went
It looks
to
cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, apparently the atmosphere was actually good as well.
yeah. It was very close to the pitch, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
Tiny
Which
stadium.
is not
Really
the
nice.
case at the
I
Hamlet.
went to Arsene Wenger's final home game for Arsenal, and that was very emotional.
Was it?
Grown men crying during his speech. Yeah,
Get over
I got a bit
yourself.
teary as well.
I miss him.
I miss him too.
But when you see him on like beIN Sports doing like tactical analysis,
Him and Mourinho today.
yeah,
It is
he
him
looks
and Mourinho. I'd love to
healthy.
see that.
He looks happy.
He
He's
does,
got a
he-
tan, and you're like, yeah, you deserve it.
I think he
We've
was.
set him free.
I think he was scared to leave football, but I think he sort of settled into.
Yeah.
a
Mourinho
life
looks
of
great
that,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, he
And I
does.
saw him laughing on beIN Sports. I was like,
Yeah.
Christ
Yeah,
almighty,
he's
needed
loving it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just
Players coming back out, Dig.
Yeah, really exciting. So, 45 minutes. It's 1-0 Liverpool, obviously, given through a Salah penalty after about 2 minutes. Huge 45 minutes for Maurizio Pochettino's men. They've they've clearly edged possession, but haven't created that many clear-cut opportunities. Zach, are you changing your prediction? Do you still see a Spurs win?
What did I
or
say?
you-
3. I reckon. Yeah, I mean, I've got to because I believed in him. To dare is to do.
To
do
dare
me.
is to do.
I'm going to say a 2-1 win to Spurs. Watch for an absolute tactical masterclass by Pochettino in this half. I bet his speech was absolutely
God,
thrilling.
Klopp looks a bit knackered. Looks a bit dazed. Wake up, Jurgen. Got a big 45. Thames, what are the people asking?
Well, we've got a few pointless questions in there now because we were answering.
That's
Do
it,
you want
just
some
slag
more
off the
weird
fans,
questions?
Tim.
or we
Just
go
before,
back to
maybe
the
just before
questions?
kickoff.
Yeah, let's just get a quick one in.
Okay. What is the most worthless thing you've ever brought?
Wow.
From
You
Liam.
need to remember
These are
this.
great
These-
questions. I'll tell you a good one that my mum bought. You know, she has like vertigo, which means like
Oh, fair enough. Me and your mum both.
she gets dizzy every now and then, and it's something to do with an imbalance in your inner ear. And
I thought it was fear of heights.
there's no
Right.
vertigos. You can get vertigo getting out of bed. You can get vertigo standing
Oh.
up.
wow, no.
I've
Vertigo,
got it,
the fear of heights. I think is misconception there is because of the film Vertigo, where I think James, what's his
Tom
name?
Cruise.
I think it's
Um,
James Wayne.
no,
We
the,
kicked
uh,
off.
What am I thinking of?
We have kicked off. But anyway,
Vanilla
long story
Sky,
short, my mum
that's
bought a
what-
table that basically flips you round and is supposed to reset your inner ear. Oh, looked like a medieval
Torture.
piece of machinery. I built it and I was like, Mum, you are not going on that because that will break. I went on it. First thing it did, chain snapped. I spun round like 2 times.
Like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah, had she been on it, I'm not sure she'd have made it, to be perfectly honest.
Oh,
The velocity on it,
bless.
absolutely unreal, and it just lives now in like the shed.
But did it
Sounds
sort out your inner
incredible.
ear?
Absolutely not. Mate. Yeah, I think I got vertigo from that table. It's a shocking piece of
That's
equipment.
fantastic.
Oh, that's
She came home and Mum was ready to flip herself around on this table. What are you doing?
I was like, God.
Yeah,
Mums buy some crap though, don't they?
they
I think
do.
it's just. Do you think it just happens like when you get old? Not just specifically mums, dads as well. You just start buying crap.
Oh, my,
You do,
my
you
dad.
really do.
Oh, when I saw this in the charity shop, and I thought, like, oh,
It could do well.
yeah, like, oh,
Thought it looked good.
Yeah.
Thing is, they know in their head as well. Yeah, it looks terrible.
yeah,
It looks
like as
terrible.
in,
But I bought it,
Yeah.
so I'm going to commit with it.
oh, I couldn't go to waste in a charity shop. I didn't really want it, but I didn't want to see it to go to waste. You're like, well,
What are you
what's
doing?
going on? So our house becomes a charity shop.
She's a
Brilliant.
charity for the charity shop.
There you go, great ball. What a
Oh,
ball!
love it.
Come on, Son.
four versus
Nut him,
three.
nut him.
Love that ball down the line. Proper pro clubs, you know, you hit a
It
sweet
is
one
proper
down the
pro
line.
gloves. It is proper pro gloves. Oh, for God's
wow,
sake.
he's kept
Oh,
it in.
hello.
Oh,
Dele
actually-
Alli's done well to keep that in.
It did curl,
Trent
but
Alexander-Arnold clears.
probably overhit.
This is what they needed. This is what happened in the first time. I mean, it is only 1 minute 30 seconds, but it was just either a little bit too much power on the passes, or not
quite
enough
enough.
power, or just a bit too far. Just what the standard you need to essentially win a Champions League final needs to be there.
Yeah. You need to start testing Alisson as well. I think he's
They do,
been
yeah.
a passenger so far. He's come out and collected a few balls, but I don't really remember any saves.
Oh,
Last
lovely.
keeper.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic,
Here's a
Lloris.
quiz for you. After Harry Kane takes us and he skipped.
This
past
comes
Matty.
Harry Kane. Oh!
Final pass.
That's a nice kind of ball though. Like that's one you can hit first time. That had a nice height, nice pace.
I'm actually
but no one
surprised he
there.
didn't bring that in.
Last goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet in a Champions League final was
2010 Bayern Munich keeper.
incorrect. Do you know? Let us know in the comments below. I'll tell you in 2 minutes. You've got to guess each. Zach and
Ooh.
Thames.
Hang on.
Hang on.
2011.
And he's
Man United.
okay. Should I give you a clue?
No,
Yeah,
that's-
right.
Yeah, right. No, not Navas. He was also Brazilian.
Julius Caesar.
Bingo.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yes.
It was Inter Milan. who
That's
won
what I
in
meant, but I said
2010.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, shit, got it the wrong way around. Useless. Oh, Julio Cesar, fair enough.
Have you seen him? Have you
Ex-QPR.
seen him now as well?
He's a pundit, isn't he?
Hunk.
Really?
Hunk.
Zach.
The grey beard. The grey
Wow, I did not expect that word.
beard. The grey beard is really
Retirement.
I've
Another
done him
person the
well.
retirement's agreed with. Yeah. Him, Mourinho,
And
and
Arsene.
Wenger's cutting about with a fresh
Start a boy
tan.
band. Fair enough. Oh, I love
Julius
it.
Caesar and Zach Jalab in a band, that'd be great.
Oh,
A Petr Cech on the drums.
Any other goalkeepers that play insurance?
love it.
That sounds like a 10 that we would have done 4 years ago.
Yeah.
If footballers were in bands.
Goetzer and Royce.
Temps,
Come on, mate.
I was going to say, Temps, let's get our next question before we get
Yeah,
into
I was
lab
just
and the.
I'll save
sex
my
band.
Goetzer trivia for later.
Oh, nice.
Our next question is
Go
from
on.
Maddie. She says, "Who do you think will be the biggest surprise package of next season?" Let's talk club-wise.
That's a good question. It's
I
a
don't
very
think
good
Wolves are
question.
going to be a surprise.
So
though,
teams
this
coming
season.
up: Villa, Norwich, Sheffield United. Can't see Sheffield United being a surprise package.
I can see Norwich doing well. If like Paddy Roberts is a good signing.
Very good
Is a
signing.
very good signing.
You know, he signed a 3-year contract with City as well, so it's just a year. He's
Okay.
just spending a year at loan on Norwich.
I feel like City are just going like, okay, well, stay there, but we will take you.
I think they want a fee for him, don't they? They'll get a
Okay.
fee for him.
I'm going to go a bit continental. I'm going to go Atalanta. I feel with the
Oh, yeah,
turmoil.
Champions
That's
League,
been
yeah.
this season, though, surely.
But next year, Roma will have a new coach, Inter have a new coach, Juve have a new
I
coach,
mean,
AC
Inter's
have a
coach
new
going to
coach.
do well.
To be fair, yeah, Conte will probably do well at Inter. but
Gasparini's
I
the
feel
guiding
like-
hand, the consistency.
Yeah, they had, according to expected goals, no, according to actual goals, I think they scored the most goals in Serie A.
Go on, Harry.
He's not going to have to change his lineup too much. I feel they'll have Champions League money for the first time ever, because the last time that they finished in the top 4, Italy only got given 3 places. So it's a big, big season for Atalanta. I'm pretty excited.
How do you think they'll do in the Champions League?
Well, the last time they were in the Europa League, I remember just after I started at FD, I remember we went to a pub just down the road and we watched them take on Everton. I don't know why, and I had a bet
and they
with Joe
tanked them, yeah.
that Koeman, he thought that Koeman would be sacked by December, and this was the start of me and Joe's rivalry. Actually, I said no.
Oh,
And-
go on, he's
son.
on.
Lovely free
he
kick
on?
that
Oh,
good
I'll be
block.
honest, boys. Harry Kane, since he's come back out on this pitch, has been superb.
Oh.
He's been offside. These decisions are mental.
was. They're so slow.
These decisions are so slow.
Yeah, Zach, talk us through it. There's enough of me churning on about Atalanta.
So
What's
Harry
going
Kane's
here?
come on and has won a free. He's
he's
offside.
well off.
He's
Miles
well
off.
offside.
He's miles off.
But essentially,
the
Christian
linesman is
Eriksen.
very slow though, isn't he? Yeah, look, no
Very,
flag, no
very
flag.
Great routine, you know, if he gets there.
Well, I think they're trying to give it now right as well for VAR. So that's part of the reason. They're trying to let let them have the chance.
play
If they
develop.
score,
Yeah,
then give it to
give them a
VAR,
bit
and then
more
they
bandwidth.
can tell for sure.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's part of the rule.
that
Because
makes
that was the
sense.
ruling
That
when
makes
VAR
sense.
came in. It was to essentially let things happen, and then
Cool.
they'll bring in VAR. But yeah, no, Christian Eriksen was a quick free kick, and unfortunately, Son was offside. However, Spurs,
Switch.
first 5 minutes, seem to be on top.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing well. I mean, it has only been 5 minutes, but Harry Kane, as I said earlier, has come out and it felt like he's actually demanded the ball more, tried to
Come out
drive
like
the ball a
he
bit
might
more.
never get to a final with Spurs again.
Indeed.
It's interesting to think that this is actually the first VAR final. How differently things could have turned out.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Look at this. Come on, Spurs.
Say United.
Go on, drive with it, Christian.
Say United.
Brilliant ball.
Say
Brilliant
United
choice,
hadn't beaten
right
PSG.
there.
Oh, for God's
or
sake.
gone through against PSG to Barca. Do PSG then go on and struggle to get
Beat
knock out
you-
Barca
yeah.
earlier? If Man City goes through against Spurs, got that goal at the last minute, do they then go on and beat Ajax and then play in this final and Liverpool Man City face off against each other?
not
It's just
really-
fascinating what
yeah.
could have happened.
Not to totally go against your point, but I always get like people talk about pet peeves. What ifs. Like, really,
Hindsight.
They really annoy me.
Really,
You know,
I
like
find
the
it
scenario.
fascinating.
Yeah.
You know when I can't remember when the idea was floated. Like, let's do a series of what if this would have happened, and then do animated videos. I was like,
it didn't.
I hate that idea.
I'm pretty sure there's some...
I don't think for a long term, for a video.
Oh, what a ball in from
Love
Trent
it.
down at
Still
right hand
alive,
side.
though, still alive.
Come on, boys.
Sadio Mane's kept it in right. Like, boys, we
There
are.
we go, Firmino. Oh,
Oh, I mean,
should have played Firmino firstly.
Mane worked that expertly to defeat Wijnaldum. A poor pass back out to Firmino.
That sea of red.
Yeah, sees
Shoot.
just stink him out of it.
No.
And Fabinho,
Easy
little
one,
deflected shot that Hugo Lloris takes under
Everyone's-
control pretty easy.
Everyone's trying to score a banger in this
Did
game,
you-
aren't they? There's so many shots from outside the box.
Did you
Really
guys see
compact
the,
defences.
Did you guys
Yeah.
see the stat that popped up that Spurs have completed 80% of their passes, whereas Liverpool have only conceded 69?
The Liverpool have actually attempted a lot of long balls.
Yeah, they have.
A lot of long balls with with
Bypassing their
Trippier.
midfield so much.
Yeah, especially when their midfield was dominating as well in the first half. I'm come on, Spurs.
I feel like. Hello.
Yes,
now we're
lovely ball
talking
from
Wijnaldum.
Good ball. He has to go for this. He has to go for this.
Oh,
Brilliant
that's
block.
awful. Mo Salah, what are you doing? That's
Oh, we could get this back though.
Sissoko,
we've been waiting all game for Mo Salah to pick the ball up inside the box and get it onto that left foot. And when
Lovely
it,
from Fabinho, moving it to Robertson. Here we go.
He's so calm for Fabinho.
and when it
Go on.
What a ball!
Oh, that is brave goalkeeping.
Well dealt with, Hugo.
That is very good. For a keeper who, has a lot of mistakes in him, he's actually been very good this game.
He's been pretty assured,
He's
isn't he?
dealt with the corners very well.
Salah chance. Oh, it was just so
Don't play the long
predictable.
ball. Don't play the long ball. Play it well.
But yeah, Liverpool creating a couple of good moments
That's
in the
it,
last couple of
Eriksen.
minutes. This second half, I think the sort of danger level of both sides seems
He's
to
on.
have risen
He's on.
massively. This is
Dele's
onside.
on. He's on!
Oh,
Finish!
what a block.
Oh my God, Spurs!
What a
You've got
block.
to take one of these chances.
Go on, Zach, take us through
Yeah,
the
what's
attack,
happening,
mate.
mate?
It's
Christian
getting- it's getting a
Eriksen.
little bit all over the shop.
Christian Eriksen has held the ball on the side of the side of the pitch, whilst Dele Alli's made a late run through the Liverpool midfield. Eriksen's picked out the most fantastic ball he could have, and it's kind of Dele Alli has controlled it, but almost like not as well as he could have, meaning the ball was kind of sat in the air a little bit too long. However, he took a shot which was blocked, unfortunately, and then it came after Harry Kane. But I mean, we said these long balls. Spurs are now just doing them, and they're
lovely
doing
ball.
very well with them, indeed.
Yeah, I don't know about everyone else.
Danny Rose, that's such a
Free
dive.
kick. That's a free kick.
Oh no. I don't know about everyone else's blood pressure, but mine's gone through
Oh
the
my
roof
God.
in the last few
Yeah.
minutes. The tension level in this game has just gone, really risen, which is great after a fairly flat first half, we have to say. So great start to the second half from both sides. Looks like there's going to be more goals in it. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome to Total Football on EFD. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well, so you'll never miss it when we do one of these live
Oh,
streams.
banged his knee.
And it
that's-
does look like there was actually a bit of
that's a
contact.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no,
it
it should have been a free kick. I mean, he's also...
Dead leg territory.
Temps, let's have our next question.
Yes, before we get our next question,
Such a good
Lincino
ball
is
from
trying to
Robertson.
sync his TV up with our stream.
Oh, bless
Wants
you,
to know
mate.
what minute
Appreciate
we're
that.
watching, so hold on, we'll wait for that to come back on screen.
Oh, so he wants to watch it live with us.
He wants to watch it
Nice.
live with
Love
us.
that commitment. Well in, my man.
Replay, so we can't actually
Oh,
see the
He's
minute.
great
watching it
block.
late for us. That's beautiful.
Come on, finish replay.
A lot of people don't understand how streams are delayed.
Okay, so it is 55 and 30 seconds, Lincino, so you're welcome. Our next question is from Jay Sahar, who says, who has been the biggest scapegoat of the season?
Sorry.
Ooh.
You
I
think?
think it's.
More so than Pogba?
Oh, good
Yeah,
point.
good point.
actually.
Actually, a very good point. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe Pogba does take the biscuit. Some of the way he's been treated, like especially on the last day of the season, that video where like fans were berating him.
To be fair,
and like some of the stuff that I saw. The problem is, right, it's football Twitter. Football Twitter love like just doing this kind of stuff, and like on there they were absolutely like going off at him like for having his top off and all this, whilst Andres Pereira next to him has his top off, and no one's mentioning that at all. Also, there's no reason to be annoyed about a player having his top off and giving it to a fan, giving it to the fans at the end of the season, even if it's not been the best season. If anything, It shows you're appreciating the support you're being given. In general, but I mean, Pogba, his whole career, especially when he came back to the Premier League, he's had a lot of haters, really, for his celebrations and the fact that he enjoys playing football. Just because he's not someone like Roy Keane, who loves every tackle he makes and wants and lives and dies for what he does on the pitch. You know, he's in his 20s and is enjoying his life.
Yeah,
like,
it's a different style, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah, it's a completely different game. Indeed.
I think in terms of scapegoats, I've talked quite a lot about Sarri in the last few days. I say it depends who's running Barcelona's transfer policy, but I say Valverde gets given a pretty hard time. Especially, I mean, you look at his bench in that second leg in the semi-final, and he had no recognised forwards to bring on. Whose fault is that? Is that Valverde's? Is that his hierarchy?
I don't think many people are saying that Valverde's not fine though. Like he's a fine manager.
My Twitter is always ramming
head off.
always saying that he's completely useless.
I think that's. I mean, that is fans overreacting. I think a lot of the more reasonable Barcelona fans would be like, he's just not in line with like our aspirations as a club. Yeah, I thought that might happen sooner or later. Origi's coming on for Firmino. Firmino's been a non-existent presence in this game, and at least Divock Origi's not going to come short and play nice little intricate passes, but at least he could press a little bit more fervently, let's say. But I think Valverde has not done himself a few like putting Sergio Roberto, for example, on the right wing in the Copa del Rey final in a 4-3-3. Like Sergio Roberto's played the majority of his season at right back. Like I just felt like he doesn't help himself out with like some of the conservative stuff he does. He's a safe pair of hands, and I do think he's been mistreated, definitely. But like that doesn't mean I think he's right for Barca.
Fair. I mean, Zach, we have seen Origi come on for Firmino.
Yes.
Klopp's made the first move, substitute-wise. If you were Pochettino, what would you be looking to change?
You know what? Right now, Spurs are actually on top of the game. They are dominating. I would leave
Big Divoc's just come on, mate.
I mean, yeah, Big
2-0 in the next 5 minutes.
Let's not jinx it.
£5.
Next 5 minutes, yeah? Next 5 minutes, okay.
So it's minute 58.
63-45 in trouble, mate.
So right now, keep it as it is. I think the Spurs are starting to find their way, even if it is by going long. And then come, say, 70th minute, bring on Llorente, bring on Lucas Moura, get some fresh legs.
Yeah.
If you are going to carry on playing long balls, why not bring the man on who is brilliant at controlling them? Yeah. I would say do both the subs at the same time, Lucas Moura and...
I mean, would you guys say, this
Llorente.
is an open question to everyone, that the decision to start Harry Kane has worked? Because I would argue it probably hasn't, but then I don't know whether that's just because Spurs have had lots of the ball in not that many damaging areas, but I don't think Kane has been that involved.
No, it's definitely worth
looks off his colour, off colour.
It's hard though. You never quite know. Like if they did say they did start Lucas Moura and Son up front,
hell of a ball.
Would Virgil van Dijk had an easier time per se? It's kind of like the impossible question because you literally have no idea. It's a what if question, right?
And we know what Alfie.
About what ifs.
I actually haven't seen Liverpool's midfield, on a separate topic, sorry to interrupt, play this conservatively in quite a while. That when they attack, it is the three main attackers, maybe backed up by one of Wijnaldum and Henderson. But we're used to seeing those fullbacks bomb forward. We're used to seeing
this football is so good.
We're used to seeing some. Well done, Matip. Another good block from Matip.
Yeah, I feel like
space here.
A lot of block shots in this game.
For me, Firmino, like when he's on song, like he'd involve that most advanced midfielder a lot more as well, wouldn't he? Whereas it's not really. I've seen Henderson like be the most advanced midfielder on a few occasions, and he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
But that has led to winning the ball back on occasion. But yeah, you're right. They're kind of Doesn't look to be a goal threat coming from the Liverpool midfield, but that might change because on comes Jimbo Slice.
A lot of assists from that man last year. Was it 8? I think
Something
Champions
stupid,
League record. Absolutely ridiculous.
Didn't he have
Jimmy
more?
Milner.
What was the stat? Something more than Neymar. Can't remember.
More chances created, maybe more assists. I'm not sure.
It was something stupid.
Didn't he get the most? He got the most assists in
He
the
got most
Champions League
assists
last
last
year.
year.
Ever. That was it ever in a
Ever
single
in a season.
season.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. But wasn't one like debatable? And that was the one that was settling it. I can't remember. You'll have to let us know in the comments below. But I think it was the most. I think Neymar, that MSN season, might have had like 12 assists in one Champions League campaign, and then Jimbo might have finished with like
Who's he
13.
coming on for?
And then
This is gonna be quite
didn't he give
interesting.
away an own goal at one point at Roma as well?
It's also a really, it's a great substitution to be able to make. Bring on your most experienced player
That's Liverpool
with
talk.
29 minutes to go. Calm people down. Even though it hasn't been that frantic, I think both sides have been pretty controlled. But you expect, temperatures are going to rise in the next 29 minutes as Spurs become increasingly desperate to win their first
for what
ever
now?
European Cup.
I mean, only a goal behind.
I'll be
aren't
honest,
they?
mate. I really feel like it's coming for Spurs. There's been it's
Yeah,
still that one final pass, but
And I feel like that might be why James Milner's coming on for Varane.
very true.
It's good,
Yeah.
good call, I'd say.
Temps.
Reacting
What
to
are the
the
people saying? What have we got coming at us?
We've got another question. So people are talking about Pogba. They think Pogba to Barcelona will be better than Pogba to PSG.
car.
Yeah, of
I
course.
don't think either of those moves are
Um,
happening, are they? I thought
yeah,
it was always
that'd
Pogba to Real Madrid.
I don't want to see Pogba at PSG, that's for sure.
Could you imagine it?
Oh.
It'd be decent.
Buffeting.
Yeah, yeah, he would.
I'm- yeah,
He'd score
I'd-
20 goals from
I'd be
central
really
midfield.
surprised. I'd be really
It'd be
surprised if United
incredible,
let him go.
actually.
I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said numerous times that he wants to build his side around. Well, actually, he said Scott McTominay quite a bit as well.
Yeah,
But
Sol's-
if you plan on winning anything over the next 3 years, you need Paul Pogba,
Agreed.
in my opinion. No matter whether he's, bang at it every game, whether he's inconsistent. Yeah, he is inconsistent, but he's the only truly world-class player, in my opinion.
Divock,
Sorry,
what
except
is
for
he
David De Gea.
doing?
Did not mean that. But one of the two.
Penalty, Divock, take it.
Yeah, you're literally a minute away from losing.
Yeah,
the
it's
final.
almost as if I was stupid, but think of the content if that had happened. Clip that out, 100,000 views on FD clips.
So yeah, I'm saying Pogba to stay.
I agree, mate. Like that kind of sums it up nicely. If they want to win anything, they can't be signing Daniel James. as promising as he is.
Please be
Yeah.
careful.
Or
Please
if
be
they-
careful.
imagine if they sold
And then
Pogba
selling
and brought in
Pogba.
Sean Longstaff.
Oh, who is that?
Harry Winks, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's blooming Messi, mate. That was mental.
Harry Winks.
Oh, that's
at
Danny
this
Rose's
is-
second
Look
nutmeg.
at Son.
Oh my God.
Harry,
Harry-
that's so well done.
Harry Winks, the
with
first
Van Dijk.
personal mastermind there ever was. So
Harry Winks
on the
there.
ledge.
But yet, Zach, for all Spurs'
Endeavour.
control of possession, they played arguably the better stuff. Alisson still hasn't been tested.
Very true. And again, that is what it's coming down
Oh, is
to.
that a free kick?
Get up,
No,
Mo.
it's not, it's
Get
not.
up.
No, it's not. He's just shutting
Yeah.
up. That is what it's coming down to. No, normally you'd expect Harry Kane to at least take a couple of shots, even if they are from distance. He takes a monstrous amount of shots per game. However, that hasn't seemed to happen, which is odd. It is his first game back as well.
I feel like they'll just leave him
I'd-
on now.
Yeah, I think it'd be.
Imagine if that goal settles it. I'd be
Referee.
You're still backing to score a penalty, wouldn't you, if it comes down to that?
Yeah.
Not in a penalty shootout. I mean, in the next 26 minutes or whatever, if they get a penalty, it's got to be Kane, really.
Look how far
I just think-
Trippier is.
I've done a
was
bit
gonna
of
say-
player coming in the last 5 minutes, and his movement doesn't seem like he's quite at it.
A nice player count. I was going to say, look at the change of structure in Tottenham's midfield. Like now they're kind of trying to bypass the middle, and it's like they're playing like 4, like 1, 1, 4. Does that even add up? 10, yeah. They're kind of getting it into that final third a little bit quicker, aren't they? And
Here he comes then.
We just saw Harry Winks pick it up there and have
I think he's
a
gonna make-
lack of options because the midfielders are so advanced now. But
I think
who do you
Lucas
think's
is-
coming off for Lucas Moura?
I must feel like
Delhi, possibly.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think it'd be Kane.
I
I
think that
it
might
could
be a good
Kane
shout.
as well.
I think it could be
Kane.
Dele as well, you know.
Really?
Whoever it is, it's a big move.
It is a big
Who's
move.
it?
26 minutes.
Harry
left.
Winks.
It's Winks.
Winks. Christ.
Oh,
Eriksen must be-
Pochettino's going for
Eriksen
it.
must be dropping in.
Who is progressing the ball?
Mate, you know, Harry Winks has actually had a very good Champions
bit-
League
I feel a bit
final.
I
sorry
wonder
for
whether
him.
they're going
Going
for
up.
Standing ovation there.
Good.
Spurs,
He deserves
Spurs
it.
fans.
4-2-3-1.
It's been
Drop
decent, yeah.
Eriksen, get him to pull the strings from further deeper, play Ali in the middle, Son on the
They are
right,
painful.
and Lucas on the left.
Yeah, I think you've called it, mate. Look, Eriksen's stepped off immediately
Yeah.
into that void.
Which could be a good.
I think
then
he
I
think-
doesn't make a
What do I know?
serious
I was
difference
completely
in
wrong
this
about
game.
them playing a diamond to begin with.
There you
so
go. Give it
let's see.
Eriksen.
I'll put him as next goal scorer, Lucas Moura, I reckon.
This could,
I think
wait,
he's going to
this
come on and change this game.
Ericsson here.
This is sort of
Oh,
like,
okay, first touch isn't the best.
First I said great, but you know.
For a Man City in
Move on.
Centurion season when KDB would just be like, all right, now I'll just be like a quarterback.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Ericsson can do that as well quite easily, can't he?
But we have 20.
it's too easy.
We have 25 minutes left of this one. If you're joining us
Put it
for the first time, where have you been? We're 66 minutes in. Liverpool are
Where
1-0
have you
up in the Champions League final,
Look
going
at
for a
Divock.
6th triumph.
Trent, play that Salah quick.
And
like a top right
please
corner.
subscribe to Eurofootball Daily. Please subscribe now and hit that notification bell as well. It is a Liverpool corner, I believe. Very little has been made of them so far. They've had about 8 or 9. But hopefully we're going to see a bit more second half action.
Look at Jordan Henderson there, again, the last midfielder in the box for Liverpool.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a chess match at times, this game.
Could have really used Naby Keita in this game.
Yeah.
I really feel like Spurs might pinch one here in a minute if they don't
I
score
really
from
hope
this
someone
corner.
scores soon.
Again,
Wow, come on,
Mate,
Trent.
mate,
So-
I hate
so
nothing
much
more
better
than a
than that.
terrible corner.
So much better than that.
Yeah, it is
Especially from Trent
frustrating,
Alexander-Arnold.
You'd expect better. You'd expect better. Temps, other people expecting better. What are they saying?
Well, we have another question.
God, lovely throwing.
Oh, well done. Well done, Alderweireld.
Sorry, no worries. Vesa said, which player do you think will be the hardest to sell this summer?
The hardest to move on.
Gareth Bale, Alexis
All right.
Sanchez, or Boateng?
I'm actually going to throw another person into the hat. Danny Drinkwater. He just doesn't want to move, does he? He is.
Why would you?
He is delighted with his 100k per week.
How long's his contract?
I think he maybe has another year, maybe another 2
You'd
years.
stay, wouldn't you?
He'll stay.
You'd absolutely stay.
Just been done for drink driving. He's having, he's not having the best of
Yeah,
times in his career right now.
Danny drink driving.
Danny drink driving. But yeah, Gareth Bale will be difficult to shift as well unless Real Madrid are prepared. Prepared.
Alexis got a
at least
movie
half his
premium,
wages. But yeah, I think Alexis
Just
Sanchez
security
will
again,
be-
lads. Apparently we're still all right upstairs, so you know.
Brilliant.
Glad
Don't
to-
want anyone to know on the stream that we're vulnerable right now. So.
Plenty of people here.
Swaps on the group chat.
What? Hair swap.
Your hair
Great.
swap.
Excellent. They've been quick with that, haven't
The
they?
people have answered.
Right, I'll bring it up.
It's absolutely marvellous.
Oh, God. Jesus. Come on, Ericsson!
That is awful.
So the answer is that I look better with Zach's hair, I think.
I told you. Wait.
Hold on, go lads!
Play it!
Oh! James Milne on the
He
edge of
could
the
have played
box
in
there.
Divock though. Divock was in so
Intricate
much
playing
space.
in around the
Oh
box.
my
James Milne
goodness.
takes
I
on
told
his
you I'd
left
look
foot.
few
Oh
worse.
my goodness. Show that to the camera.
I mean, they won't see
mate,
that.
let's do the chance first.
They'll be out of focus,
I
but
would have been absolutely fuming if we'd missed that because we were looking
Yeah.
Jaleb with my hair and vice
He's
versa.
got to play in Divock here though, hasn't he?
No.
You don't think so? He's in
He's
a lot
got
of
to take
space.
that on, mate. It's from like it's like 11 yards out.
Yeah, but there's two players in front
Oh,
of him.
but that's
Look
not
how
Spurs
close
to
it
do.
was.
Spurs need to take a shot.
I'll tell you what, Divock's, I mean, in an odd... Actually, when he comes on, more often than not, Sané
left.
does come central and he goes to the left, doesn't he? And they seem to swap positions there. Good drive from Sané, though. Good build-up play around the box. That's the most exposed.
Mane.
Sorry, Marv. Do I keep saying Sané?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the most it's most exposed that Spurs have been in the second half.
Yeah.
And Leroy Sané's done really well to swap his allegiance from
Mane.
Manchester City.
Here we go.
Midway through the Champions League.
At least you haven't
Stop
shouted
taking the
Rashford.
long
Yeah.
shot.
That's a really kind of like
Long
weird
ball.
Freudian slip that I can't get over.
Sané, Mane.
Yeah.
Oh, Hamill!
I don't know why it's
That
Freudian.
was a reach.
It makes more
That
sense than
hit.
Rashford.
What do you mean? If it hits him like that,
Spurs,
it's always
Man City.
Come on, man. Like Spurs.
Right, look at that. Diagonal ball is on.
But you're right, though.
Very
James.
ambitious.
You're so right in terms of Spurs need to have a shot. I can't think of a time
yeah.
that they've had a shot
Yeah.
that's not been blocked.
But Liverpool's line is really high, and it means they can't even have like those ambitious pot shots. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and I think Matip, I mean, in particular, even more so than Van Dijk, has
Ego.
been really assured of
Ego.
that. Whenever it's come close to him, he's not necessarily being the most, fancy, bringing the ball out of play defending tonight, but his blocks, his anticipation has been really sharp. I think him and Van Dijk are controlling Spurs' front line reasonably
He's on.
well. Despite
He's
the
on.
fact,
Is he?
Very
my
good.
He's
God,
on.
this
Could be a
commentator's
chance.
curse.
Oh! Why is Harry
Here we
Kane
go.
come in?
He's just hit that in hope, hasn't he?
Oh,
Lucas
that's a crucial
Moura.
Come on, Trips!
Defending.
Oh, Lucas Moura was team one up then, wasn't he?
Zach, talk us through that. What was going on?
An absolute peach of a Trippier's pulled up.
Oh my
my
God!
Lord.
Hold on,
Beyond the
Zacharias, because
counter-attack.
Mo Salah is free down the right-hand side. The fullbacks are committed for Spurs, and now the
Divock.
space.
Divock.
Divock!
Good block.
Go on.
Oh, Sadio! Oh!
Oh, last
For
2
God's
minutes
sake.
or so, this game
For God's
has
sake.
come alive.
We need another goal. This penalty cannot settle this tie. Please
Yeah.
just give us
Oh
another
my
goal.
God.
Oh.
Spurs are everywhere. They've got Trippier who's pulled his hamstring. Sissoko's on the floor absolutely crying. He's not crying because he looks knackered and may have also pulled his
I
hamstring.
wonder whether that's cramp or something serious.
I feel like Sissoko has pulled his hamstring a few times this season.
Harry Winks has gone off. And
Watch
now
this ball
Sissoko's
from a-
literally in charge
Oh
of
That
it.
my
is
goodness.
disgusting.
Oh,
from
Edison,
Alisson.
Edison
Yeah,
eat your
that's
heart
Edison
out, mate. That's straight out of Edison.
This is good defending here from Vertonghen.
Playbook.
Divoc's in a horrible position, isn't he? He's getting
He's-
nowhere near
He's
that.
occupying something near the
Can
front
Mane
post,
go
isn't he?
down there? You know when the ball breaks him at the edge? I want to see it again, but
What's this?
wait.
What is
This
this?
is the Milner shot.
Oh.
Oh, right,
this
right.
is
Oh,
nice.
that's a
This
weird
is-
angle.
This
Felt
is
like-
nice.
Okay.
I felt like it was the first half then.
Yeah.
If we're judging the game on the amount of chances, that clear-cut chances that have been created, Liverpool are some way ahead of Tottenham.
Yes,
aren't they?
yes.
Yeah, I felt, yeah.
But then if you go on, yeah.
But then
it's,
again-
it's all about the effectiveness,
Yeah.
but the control that's. I think Spurs have sort of controlled much of the ball, much of the play. But yeah, as Hamill says, in terms of clear-cut chances, there's only really one winner. But it's not clear who's going to win this game. It's 1-0 to Liverpool going into the final 20 minutes. If you are joining us on EFD for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. We will try and talk you through the final 19 minutes of what has been an incredibly tight game. Not necessarily the highest in quality, but the tension is palpable, and we don't even have the volume on.
Might just be because it's so hot in this room and it's actually, getting
I
a bit
think- I do-
getting a bit cabin fever.
I do think there has been quality. Like defensively, like
Yeah.
both teams have been. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Look at
Oh my God. Oh my God. This
I
is
don't think you
getting
can
mad.
say one player has really played
Yeah.
at the top. Outside of defenders, I think Matip and Van Dijk have been.
Oh, that's a lovely little flick.
I think.
Here we go. Come on, look at your left, Son. Not take the shot.
Slowed it
Son-
down there.
That's the angle.
Oh.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
Done by
That
the
was
angle.
nowhere to
So
be.
done by the angle. That was embarrassing.
He got out the nine.
Oh,
we've
we
been
were all
absolutely
ready for it.
We've been absolutely clickbaited there.
Oh, it's nowhere near.
Allison picks out like nothing.
We thought that was going
That-
top right hand
He could
corner.
have let that bounce.
exciting.
Wait, Alisson's
let
actually
that
had to move
bounce.
forward to collect that.
No, we all want something to happen that badly. We were
right.
just ready to celebrate. Oh,
I mean, he's the right sort of intent.
Yeah.
Like, back play, that would have been some goal. Robertson's very relieved to see that and drift into his
I
hand.
feel bad criticising players constantly for attacking play, but
So
there, I
close.
felt like Son had a lot of space and he slowed down the ball, gave it to Ali, who then had to sort of lean back and try this outrageous
Dyer.
trip shot.
Jesus.
Trick shot even. So Dyer coming on for Sissoko, maybe that's cramp or maybe an earlier
God.
injury picked up. So big occasion.
Apart from the penalty, he's
for
played
X.
okay as well. He's put in
That's
really
all what-
industrious-
that's what he'll be
industrious
remembered
performance.
for.
But I actually think Son has been the player,
At most of the top of his game.
yes, who's significantly standing out for his respective side.
Yeah.
Liverpool, yeah, a bit more like the structure's been sound, hasn't it? The team game has been, the game plan has been exacted well.
Oh, what?
Sadio Mane's
Here we
threatened
go.
quite a few
Oh,
times, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've just
Um,
never seen, particularly Robertson look so. I think he's just playing to his manager's
A
plans.
bit more
but
disciplined.
Yeah, so disciplined, so
He's normally let off
subdued.
the leash,
He
isn't
normally
he?
just goes absolutely
Yeah.
crazy, but they know they've got a 1-0 lead. That they know that they're not conceding any good chances to Spurs at the minute, and Klopp's just saying, keep it going. We are going to win this game if nothing changes in the next 16 minutes.
Great to see James Milner on though.
I just remembered I get a five.
I want Liverpool to win the Champions League.
Oh yeah,
now.
Zach's on a
Oh,
five.
Zach's gone off.
I'll get you a boots meal doing that.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness, Temps. Let's have another question as we approach the final 15.
Yeah, before we get in questions, just looking at some of the comments, a lot of people aren't enjoying this game. They're saying it's a very boring final.
Come on then,
What do
Robertson.
you guys reckon?
Here we go, Temps. It's about to change,
I think
mate.
it's heated up a bit in the last 10 minutes.
It has,
This is
100%.
better. Oh, take that
Here
a
we
bit
go.
quicker. Lefty.
Oh!
God, I'm so desperate for something to happen.
Yeah, me too. Just hit it.
Come on, Lucas.
Yeah,
charge.
I mean, I tend to agree with the fans. I don't think there's been that much great attacking play. But
It's,
the last,
it's definitely
here we
getting
go.
more-
Son!
Oh, Van Dijk!
So good, isn't he?
Talk us through that. Zach.
Son has driven
Someone
from
tickle my belly.
from the middle
When
of
I
the
watch Van
pitch
Dijk.
through to the end. I mean, Spurs have also taken a quick corner. I said we then. Weird.
It's happened.
It's happened.
Man, he's a plastic.
Oh, Harry Kane.
Oh,
Actually,
Just-
free
just-
in the box for the first time
Is
in
that
a
a
long
shot?
time.
I think he shot well.
he's whipped it on there.
Straight
Yeah,
down
no,
back.
Son drove through. He got past a couple of Liverpool players, and then Van Dijk essentially matched him for pace and put it out for a corner. Spurs do still have the ball. Son is in the left side of the box and he's handballed it for a free kick.
Son has looked far more threatening with the ball than Harry Kane has all game.
Yeah.
As in, like,
I don't know if that's
he's at it, isn't he? I think he still believes.
So they made 3 subs then?
And we've all got to believe. All
Yeah,
right, guys.
we believe. We're looking for more drama. We haven't seen enough clear-cut opportunities. Maybe. Lucas has come on. Is this the time to change Llorente on for Kane and just try something new? It happened well in that second leg against Ajax.
I think you keep Kane on still, mate. I think you take Dele off.
But he's a passenger, I'm afraid. Yeah,
but he's still got the ability to do...
Go on, Divock.
But do you back Kane at 70% to do Kane magic? I just don't think you do. Whereas do you back a fresh Llorente against tired legs, coming on for 14 minutes and potentially...
No, you bring Llorente on, but you bring him on for Dele Alli.
Just the 4th wrong call in the last 10 minutes.
Okay. I see your point. Bring him on for Dele Alli, okay. Play maybe Son behind them. It's just... I feel
like both teams kind of...
It's time to gamble for Pochettino.
Indeed.
Nothing is happening in terms of creating clear-cut opportunities. What is to lose by putting on Llorente now?
These were the fire margins.
Who would you take off for Llorente?
Kane.
Kane?
Yes. I don't think
I'd still leave Kane on if you're really going to go for it. Leave Kane on.
Mate, I think they've been that ineffective at progressing the ball like to a striker that I think Llorente would just be so stationary. Like,
a few good deliveries in there.
Yeah, but Van Dijk wins about 80% of his aerial duels.
Yeah, exactly.
Very rarely does Llorente come up against someone with the aerial prowess of Van Dijk.
Well,
I get what you mean. Like, try something different. But yeah, I'm maybe swaying towards keeping.
I mean, there's only 13 minutes left.
He has not rubbish, but he's been ineffective.
He's been rushed back.
And to be fair, sort of criticising my own point here. You know, if they do get a goal, do you back them with 30 minutes with Llorente or 30 minutes with Kane? I don't know. I'm sort of tied. I don't know.
These are the fine margins, mate.
Eric Dyer.
I'm as confused as Pochettino, seemingly.
Eric Dyer, ball progressor.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, car blimey, Eric Dyer. Listen, he's a functional player, isn't he?
Sure, I mean, he's also he's a centre back.
Actually,
that's been turned into a midfielder.
Look right. Look at Trippier. He's in so much space.
Yeah,
but maybe they just go. Eric Dyer slots in at centre back. Go 3 at the back.
Yeah.
Push the wing backs on.
Yeah,
feed the box and you will score. No, not feed the box.
It's
fill the box. Is it fill the box? I can't remember.
Fill the box. Oh my God.
Feed it. No.
If
fill
in doubt,
the box.
Please let us know what you do to the box in the comments below.
Oh Jesus!
What you do to the box,
what an iconic line.
That sounds a lot worse than I meant. Here we go. Okay, Kane coming through.
Comments are erupting.
What a ball!
Harry Kane.
That is a good ball.
What ball by Harry Kane?
No!
Dele Alli.
That was a big chance.
That would have been
Harry Kane.
A pantheon of great bits of commentary there.
Feed the box.
Harry Kane.
Zach, talk us through it.
Harry Kane just absolutely leathered a ball from the halfway line, basically all the way to Trippier on the right wing. Wing puts a very good ball onto Dele Alli's head.
Because he's peeled off Matip.
He has.
Jumped too early.
Yeah, the Afro's screwed it. And Dele Alli has put it over the bar. Spurs are like so close to getting a goal.
Yeah, just keep doing what you do.
I think it just hasn't been the dominant performance many were expecting from Liverpool. They've had 11 attempts and Spurs have had 8, but there's only been 3 on target from each side.
Feed left.
That's not who you want.
I don't think any of the attackers, bar Son, has really performed anywhere near their level. I think Mane's been useful in patches, but in terms of real quality in the final third, I think this game's been pretty lacking.
It's been really disappointing in that sense.
But then it's a final, so should we really be that surprised?
I think we have been used to recently as well, Real Madrid slapping teams about. Son.
He's going to go for it.
Oh!
What a save.
That's a good moment. Right, more of that.
Come on!
Here we go.
This is it! Lucas!
Zach, talk us through.
Lucas Moura, oh
Really
my
good
God.
Oh, 2 saves in 5 seconds. Good.
Who had the shot
Son.
originally? Son had is it on his right foot? I think technically it's weak foot, but I know he's very bow-footed. From a distance, an easy enough save for Alisson, to be honest. But the rebound...
Hoss give the ball away 15 times since he's been
then
on.
also fell
Really
to Lucas Moura, who, I'll be honest, I think has to do better I think he has to
You
put
would
it
have
in.
been Scottish then.
That's better.
I'll be
It
honest.
was one of yours.
It was one of yours.
That
Freedom!
Here we go! Come on,
through
Son!
Fabinho's
Go for it
legs.
again.
Oh, you've
Son
got to do better
is
than
on-
that.
That was a Danny
Son is on a
Welbeck
mission,
shot.
and Liverpool have
No,
looked
head up, Son.
Liverpool
Head
have
up,
looked
Son.
ragged the last 5 in defence. Like
Son.
that nice structured high line is getting deeper. It's getting more ragged. They're
giving
getting
the
more
ball
like
away.
Mo Salah's just the out ball all the time.
Oh,
Oh, stupid
really
Vertonghen.
bad from
can
Top
Trent
there.
hit over the first
Mo
man?
Salah's getting a little bit sick of these long balls, it would seem. He's just turned to his teammates and he's saying, "What are you expecting me to do? Are you trying to kill me?"
I'm sorry, we just haven't seen enough of the Liverpool midfield
such a
tonight.
good
I
shot,
don't think any of them have completed more than maybe 20 passes.
Good ball from.
I mean, that's not
Oh,
obviously
okay, mate.
factually accurate.
He is harder
It
than
doesn't feel like any of the
we-
midfielders in Liverpool
I think
side
that's
really
right.
grabbed the game by the
Really
scruff of
good
the neck,
save, Mark.
controlled the ball,
Well,
slowed
if
it
we had a
down.
shot on target from a midfielder, James Milner narrowly missed the post, didn't he? But Tottenham are definitely finishing strong here. This is good for the game, lads. Good for the game.
Yeah,
I'm
I
telling you, this is gonna.
Oh,
Dele Alli put on
Dele's
for
come off.
Llorente, I think.
I think
Come on,
I
show
think you
us.
might have called it, Jello.
think- Yeah, you have. The
Wow.
Oracle.
It's
Wow.
a big
Good going for
move.
the aerial
Fair
threat.
play to Pochettino. I mean, the only other stop he could have really made would be
Oh.
Lamella.
No one
But-
tells James Milner where to take a corner from.
I mean, it's not on the line.
I mean, but no, the ball is over the line, though, isn't it? That's right, Jimbo. You give him some stick.
Oh, well, the has dyed his hair grey.
No one stops James Milner.
Maybe that's a bit of white paint.
In full
Today is to do, boys. The Cox.
Again, a
Here we
crap
go.
corner. And Mo Salah's 19th shot from outside the box.
That's
No.
so bad from Mo.
What was
That's
that? Mo's got a clear
Also bad from
defence.
Son.
He's offside. They come back on trying to win that header.
I
James
mean-
Jordan
Here we go,
Hen-
Henderson.
If he's
He's
offside.
going to shoot.
That's why your midfielders aren't taking shots.
That sums up the game. That
I mean,
does.
he
I
saw
mean,
his mate- his-
if
saw his name up in
Liverpool
lights, didn't
Liverpool lose now, that'll be played on repeat, won't it? But
Titanic music on that.
that's kind of summed up the attacking contribution from Liverpool's midfield at the moment. Like how deep Divock Origi's dropping as well.
This is going to hurt.
Mo Salah's
Give
pretty
it to.
Mo Salah's pretty much playing as a lone striker, and since Divock Origi's come on, I feel like Sadio Mane's been less involved as
Yeah.
well. But I don't
But
know
look,
if
is he
he's
right then?
just tired. but-
Divock keeps going to the left as well.
For 10, so let's get another
Give it
question.
trips.
10 minutes left, probably.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
Uh,
Llorente's noggin.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, that's so bad. That's such a bad ball.
Here we go.
Oh, still an attack.
Oh,
Oh,
God, no,
it's a free kick by the
it's
looks
not
of
a
it. It's a free kick.
Why is he not playing on? Play advantage.
Just
He's got
outside
to
the
play the.
box.
Got to play advantage.
He might check
there.
VAR. He might check VAR for this if
Danny
this is in the
Rose.
box.
Oh, I think it was
This is
outside.
Danny
dramatic.
Rose has absolutely chucked himself in the box there.
Harry. He's
Harry
going to
says
check
it was
VAR.
a pen.
Where is it? Where is it?
That was awful from Trent.
Outside
That's
the box.
well
Outside
outside
the
the
box.
box.
Yeah, outside the
Jesus.
box.
Is it even a
What
foul?
happens?
I think he's gone for a dive.
He's dived.
He's clearly dived.
If they check VAR,
If they check VAR, do they
he might
overturn
get-
a free kick?
Oh no, he has.
Oh,
No, he's been
there's a
been
touch.
touched. He's been touched.
He still goes down very
He's
theatrically,
outside the
Danny.
box.
Very theatrically.
Boys, Christian Eriksen might put this top bins.
No. Really? Do you
I
reckon?
mean, it's a possibility.
It's-
Yeah, very true. No,
He's standing over there to do that.
I don't think he'll shoot. I don't think he'll shoot here. Surely you've got to bend this in.
No, he's going to shoot.
I think he's a
I
shoot.
think he's going to
I
shoot.
think
Yeah,
he's a
why
shoot.
would you bend this in?
Because you've got Llorente and Kane who are
No,
about
'cause it's
six
such
foot
an-
Very, very close.
It's such an
Llorente
awkward
picking up the
cross.
second ball.
And
Yeah.
He's going to hit it in with the tip of his.
Exactly, you go for the
Penal.
shot.
He's gonna
Hope
shoot.
for
Fine.
the
If
second
I'm
ball.
Christian,
He's gonna shoot.
if I'm Christian, I float it in.
He's gonna shoot.
I think this could be the goal.
There's not enough.
I'm
He
not
can't
on the
get that
chat.
up. Mate, he can't get that up and down. He's got to shoot.
He has to shoot, yeah. I think it's going to be... I think Alisson's
He's gonna go top right.
Alisson's going to
He's gonna
palm
go
it-
top right.
palm it
Alisson's got
into-
top right covered.
No, bro.
This
He's
is,
gonna take
this is Llorente's goal. He's going to palm
I
it
don't
straight
want
to
extra
Llorente.
time, but I also don't want the game to be settled by that goal. Come on, Christian.
Great save from Alisson.
Alisson!
It was a nice height
Man
for
of the
Alisson.
match for me,
It's a
Alisson.
nice height.
I told you he's going
I
right.
told you I had the right side covered though, didn't I?
Very true.
Oh.
Come on, boy. Today is
Have a
to
go.
do. Today is to do.
Sonny Snelling and Danny Pate with head
Oh,
in
bless
hands
them.
after that.
Come on,
When we
this
get
is
no
it.
voice
I reckon
sometimes.
It's coming.
I reckon Snelling's dad's had to go for a walk around the block. Like the wife's had to send him out. Like you go for a walk.
This is the worst for Spurs fans. This is too hard to watch.
Son!
No,
No way.
I mean, it's bounced up very unfavourably
I think
to him,
Son's
hasn't it?
offside,
I
actually.
think I hope he is offside for his own
I
sake.
apologise
Yeah,
for
it's a free
everyone's
kick.
eardrums there, by the way.
Free kick. No, but also that's just
I mean,
bounced.
Son's
Yeah, he's
miles
very
offside.
offside.
What is he doing?
Lucas, you've got to get that. I apologise for that.
Son, there's no way Son was like that's a big miss.
Okay, I'm going to post something out here.
Speed.
Go on.
If Spurs get an equaliser, Liverpool can have literally no complaints in the way they played this game. I don't think Liverpool have played well in the slightest.
Oh my.
I'd say, yeah, from 60 minutes onwards, Spurs have deserved an equaliser.
Now we're 5 minutes from the end, I don't want Spurs to score. I really don't. I wanted it 20 minutes ago. I don't want it now.
Okay, guys.
But equally, you expect that in the last 10, don't you? You expect the side leading to be a little bit more conservative, invite a little bit more pressure. But you're right, they're playing a bit of a dangerous game here.
Yeah.
Oh, what a ball.
Okay, guys, there is about 5 minutes left, plus injury time to be added onto that of the 2019 Champions League final. Don't know why Danny Rose does not just let that go, but if you're joining us for Total Football for the first time on EFD, welcome aboard. Please subscribe to EFD, hit that notification bell as well to never miss a video. We are praying for some more drama, because at the moment it's been a bit of a drab affair with the odd moment. Thames, what's the next
He's not
question?
had to talk.
Can someone find out?
Why is he also using this part? That's so close to his being a handball.
I don't know.
Can someone find out how many corners we've had in this game as well?
Yeah, and how many corners
it must
have
be a
found
record for a
Oh,
final.
Alderweireld out for this corner. Yes, please. 2-0. Come on.
I'll let this corner happen before I ask the next
Yeah,
question.
good
I
idea.
feel
Very
like
generous of you.
it could be a big one.
Look at the fans.
I've really got into Spurs right now. It's mad.
I think I'm getting into Spurs as well. I don't know where my allegiances lie anymore. I just want a bit more drama.
There's so many players on the edge of the box here. Are they all just going to run in?
That ref as
Toby's
well.
back.
That ref is jacked.
What a
He's
fade.
massive. I've
What
seen a lot
fade
of
from
ripped
Toby.
refs in this year's Champions League. I think
They
they've
have
all
to
been
be, don't
steroids.
they? Just to intimidate players.
Here we go. Jimmy crosses in.
That's it. Oh, it's
That's
another
a better corner. That's a better corner. Van Dijk's
Really
connected
poor
with it as well.
clearance.
but someone's
handball.
blocked
Divock!
Yes!
Come on,
What a goal! What a
Liverpool!
finish!
This is it. It's a
2
game.
goals against
Divock
Barcelona.
scored.
The winner in the
Game
Champions
over.
League final.
So sorry, Snelling.
Just didn't happen in 5 minutes. Should have said before the end of the 90, and then that sweet Boots meal deal was coming home to roost.
Oh, that is brilliant. So it's a Jimmy Milner corner that doesn't really get cleared properly. A ball breaks
Thank
to Origi
you,
on the left-hand
Liverpool.
side of the box, and it's a composed finish in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, the flares are out.
Origi.
It's all over.
Of all people.
It's all over.
We
Zach,
needed, this game needed
Spurs
that.
fan for the night. How are you feeling, mate?
It's so against the run of play. It's so against the run of play. I mean, also, fair enough for Liverpool for at least defending well enough. Oh, some of these Spurs fans are absolutely distraught. But, I mean, look, I don't really know. Whoever's marking him has not done a good job of it at all.
What happens here?
Who's 32? Is that
Matip.
Joel Matip
That's
who
Matip.
nips in with the assist?
I think it is.
That's a brilliant sweeping finish as well.
Origi
The left
of all
foot, Divock
people.
Origi. Like he's come on, he's looked energised. Like he took Mane's mantle up on the left hand side.
Here's the sort of deft touch.
Oh, Vertonghen doesn't quite get there, and then Matip slips in.
Such a good finish.
Vertonghen, I think, is looking to block the near post shot. No, it goes under Vertonghen.
he's
It goes under Alderweireld's legs, and it hits the side netting, and the keeper's Hugo Lloris has minimal chance there.
Oh, wow.
He's fine.
It's a feisty
That's a
challenge.
great
What a
tackle.
challenge.
Danny Rose has
Get a
gone
quick
full-blooded.
Oh, Llorente.
Tasty though.
Wow.
Tasty.
Wow.
Okay,
from
so there's
the
about
Reds,
2
I was
minutes
gonna
left of normal time. Liverpool are now 2-0 up against Spurs. If you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe to EuroFootball Daily. What drama? What drama at the end?
Fair
2-0. Thames, what are the people saying?
Divock Origi. We
I mean,
thought
people are
Ajax
going
were the story,
absolutely
Thames.
mental with this. Origi's such a big game player, isn't he?
It's just become a cult
He
legend.
loves scoring.
This is it.
big
Get
Get
Oxlade-Chamberlain on. Give him a
Yeah.
minute. The year he's had, Jurgen. Give him a minute.
The question we've got from Niall is who will be each team's most important player going into next season? Mine is Divock Origi for Liverpool. Just bring him on
The
when
goat.
you need him. Like,
Chris, who do you think's Liverpool's main man going into next year?
Yeah, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, doesn't really change it, does it?
Closely followed
Who's
by.
that underrated?
Closely followed by
Important
Mane.
player.
Closely followed.
Van
Underrated.
Dijk actually maybe. Um,
Yeah, sorry, Van Dijk as well, and Alisson. Like, listen, as much credit as Van Dijk's getting for shoring up the back, like Alisson's been incredible, as displayed in the last 10 minutes when
Yeah,
they
he's
really
kept
needed him
kept him in the game.
right there.
He
Bless
must
him.
be so relieved as well.
But this
The
is
thing, wasn't he- wasn't
this
he
is why they're
Inter's-
well equipped to challenge City because it's Roma's. Alisson, yeah.
Yeah, I swear, no, but he was at Inter at one point, wasn't he?
I don't
yeah,
remember.
Could
but
be
that's
free.
that's Internacional in Brazil.
Right.
Apologies.
But yeah, this is why they're so well equipped to take on City, isn't it? They've just got a really good squad now.
Joe Gomez.
One more defender, one more attacking midfielder. I think that
I think the I mean, this Champions League campaign won't really, I don't think, be remembered from a Liverpool perspective for their performance in this final. I don't think it's been fantastic, but what it will be remembered for
Get the job done,
is that
innit?
comeback
Don't worry
at
about it.
Anfield against Barcelona,
Yeah.
3-0 down. That was the iconic game of this campaign
Yeah.
for them. And likewise, Spurs
That-
probably haven't been at their best, or their most clinical, at least in this final. You can't. It's just not been. It's just
Yeah.
not been one-sided either way. You wouldn't say
Look at
Liverpool
Poch.
deserved it.
You gotta
wouldn't
No,
give
it's
say-
Jurgen.
You got to give Poch a lot of credit for getting this second half performance out of this side, though. Like bringing Llorente on in a Champions League final is not something you'd ever sort of envisage, is it? Like a
100%.
League Cup player, it's like, oh,
They're literally having to go long ball central.
yeah, that's game, mate. I mean, it's been feels like it's been game over for five or
I
7
think, I
minutes.
think
but-
the
Second half has been a lot more entertaining.
I agree.
There's been a lot more entertaining.
What was it from like 65
Yeah.
to 80?
Yeah.
Maybe was good.
It's unfortunate, and sometimes that's just the way it works, right? You don't take your chances, and Liverpool, who, if we're being honest, in the second half have been dominated by
Joe
Spurs.
Gomez has just come on and he's balls that up.
If they get a goal back here,
I'd love.
oh,
No, get up.
That is such a
Kane's-
Harry
That
Kane.
is
there's
penalty,
nothing
isn't
in that.
it? Like-
essentially.
and refs in the Prem love him and they give him it. No, I can't. I'm only joking. No, that was desperation, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was very
that was
It
pure
went
desperation.
down very easily. Right,
Um,
let's get it. Whip it out to Danny. Let's.
Sorry,
try it
I
in.
wasn't taking any notice when Joe Gomez came on. Who did he come on for?
Mane.
Was it
Trent.
Yeah, he came
Trent,
with
wasn't
Mane.
Oh dear, Matip.
Wasn't it Trent Alexander? No,
No,
you're
Mane.
right.
5
Mane.
minutes injury time. You do not want to be inviting pressure around here.
He's
No.
like, okay, I'm down.
I don't.
No, get up, boys. That's shoulder to shoulder. Come on.
Why are we
There
even
is a
de-
little
why are
bit-
we even debating
There's a
now?
little bit of,
It goes in
his
quite
legs
hard.
getting
No, I think you're right.
And no one around him was looking for it.
goal.
No one appealed as well.
Just, I
Get
feel.
Oxlade on for 1 minute. Have they made 3 subs?
Oh,
Yeah, I think they
This is
have.
a
I think
goal.
they've made
This is a
3
goal.
subs.
Oh,
Look, he takes into control.
I'll be honest.
Lovely.
Allison as well. Allison's done
Alisson's
nothing
safe.
wrong
Man of the
at
match
all.
for me, Alisson.
At
I
all.
mean, yeah, we said
Man
at
of the
half
match,
time.
really?
Yeah.
I don't think.
He's only done that.
No one else
It's
has
only done that.
deserved it.
I
The
think
free
maybe
kick-
Joel Matip.
Yeah, the free
Yeah.
kick has probably been his best save, hasn't it? Van Dijk's made 2 crucial interceptions.
Yes,
as well.
Van
Van
Dijk's
Dijk
been
has
very
If we're
good.
talking about
Defensively,
yeah.
one of the defenders for Liverpool gets man
yeah.
of the match.
If we're
Yeah.
talking about like big game actions, I feel like
Yeah.
Van
Joel
Dijk-
Matip got the assist
It's
as
got
well.
yeah, it's got to be one.
Oh
of the,
yeah, John Matip. Yeah.
It's got to be one of the centre backs for me. I'd probably give it to Matip, but I wouldn't mind Van Dijk.
Oh,
Another
good
great
save.
I mean,
Great save.
I mean, to be fair, we said at half time he had a save to make. This half, I think
He's
made
getting
3
there.
saves
I love the
from
short.
start.
I love the short sleeve.
Great
as well.
save from Eriksen
Wanna
as
get-
well.
yeah,
Alisson has
he's a
really
con, yeah.
turned up in the big moments. No, I mean, this is literally last
It's-
chance.
come
Come
on,
on, Spurs. You get one.
His
Spurs. You get
skin's
the goal
cleared up
now.
beautifully as well.
Clear us up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, is that Matip
Yeah,
again?
Matip.
great header away.
I mean-
Okay, realistically, we're talking. It needs a goal right now.
literally this.
Harry, have a shot.
Shot on target though. That's good.
I mean,
to
the
know. They did that.
stats are going to look pretty favourable for Spurs after this half, aren't they? Like they've clocked at some shots on target, man.
Temps. Let's get maybe the final question.
We
one
didn't
more time.
answer the second part of the question, which was who will be Spurs' most important player going
Ooh,
into
Zachary.
next season.
Harry Kane.
Let's not be obvious with
Well, how would you
with
read that?
Harry
I
Kane.
mean, Son, a Christensen. If they can keep him, they're going to have to try and buy another centre back. So, because I would not be that
So that
surprised.
player will be important.
Especially with
Midfield
the
as well, Jesus.
yeah, I mean they need to buy a few players, but especially with there's still the possibility that Alderweireld could leave for 25 million for 25 million pounds during that 1 month.
Who would he go? He's been linked to Man United, hasn't he? Like, quite
I think
strong.
Spurs' transfer policy this summer is going to be absolutely fascinating.
Spurs need to make three
They made a
signings
lot
minimum.
of cash over this Champions League campaign, but I just don't know. And supposedly you hear their finances being in the best shape of all time, but yet they haven't signed a player since January 2018.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be really interesting. And there's a lot of areas that they need to strengthen as well. And it feels like if they lose a couple of players from this side and don't recruit exceptionally well, this is almost
yeah.
like it feels like the start of an end of an era in a way.
Yeah, the slip back to the 5th and 6th is
Well,
not a million miles away
yeah.
for Spurs.
Especially for players like Harry Kane and Dele Alli. When if say Real Madrid came knocking or
it's going
whoever
to be 3-0,
came,
lads. It's going to
he's
finish
offside.
3-0.
He's offside.
Why didn't he play that?
He's
to-
on.
He's
to
got
left?
to be off.
Play again,
Milner.
play again, play again.
Here we go, Origi.
Jimbo
proper
to get
slow
a goal
the
in the
game down.
final would be excellent. What are you
Oh my
doing?
God.
Divock.
But yeah,
Divock, delusions of grandeur now. What's going on?
We just can't pass.
if they can't, if
You can
Spurs,
only finish.
They can only finish. That's,
Clinical finisher, yeah.
if Spurs can't win this Champions League as well, then the idea for Dele Alli and for Harry Kane to move on must be up there.
If they hadn't qualified for the Champions League, I'd definitely entertain that scenario. But
Not this season, but possibly like next season,
Look
depending
at the
on
Liverpool players all ready to charge on. Chris, you've been supporting Liverpool tonight.
Yeah,
How would you sum up?
I'm glad that
this night?
Jurgen Klopp's won a final. Like,
There we go.
God, Liverpool
Really
have
well
deserved
done,
it. They've deserved it throughout over the course of the
Oh,
season.
bless him.
Like we said that Spurs have had the rub of the green more so than Liverpool was in the season's Champions League.
Of all the players.
Origi has won the Champions
Come on,
League.
they deserve it.
He was at
I mean,
Wolfsburg.
like
Cutting to Stevie.
Jimmy
looking
Traore
delighted.
win one at
Yeah.
Liverpool. Team effort. He's
Yeah.
a very good impact player. These Liverpool players
bless Van Dijk.
deserve a trophy of this standing, don't they? Given the season they've just put on.
Yeah.
It would have been criminal for them not to get something. And now, you know,
Party Madrid's going to be good.
Man City deserve the league.
Oh,
Liverpool probably deserve
Son.
the Champions League.
Yeah.
It's all
I think
right-
you'd
it's all
probably
right
say
for
on this performance, they probably had the better edge of the chances. I'd say at least until the final 20 minutes. I think they played quite a safe game, but they got the job done. They obviously got that early penalty that completely changed how they looked at the final, I think.
Yeah.
And
That's one of my
fair
favourite
play
shots.
to them. As I said before, they've had a great run since they got out of the groups. They've beaten Bayern, they thrashed Porto, they beat Barca. They've then beaten a Spurs side who've had a great run themselves. They fully deserve this trophy.
Stadium looks plush. And I think it's great that there was a second goal as well.
Yeah.
So, like that, I did not want the game to be decided by that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Zach, what are your thoughts on Spurs and this performance and this night? And
They should be proud of themselves. I mean, for what they've done over the
Well
past
said.
2 seasons, for the players that they have, and for Pochettino in general, they should all be proud of themselves. The game, you know, maybe they were unfortunate in some, maybe on a different day, they put in a chance. Dele Alli doesn't head it over, he puts it in. Alisson doesn't pull off the save.
And they they did themselves like justice, didn't they, in the second half?
Yes,
Like, they gave it
exactly.
a go. They didn't go out in a whimper.
Exactly, yeah. The second half especially, they've all been fantastic. I mean, it's sad seeing Son, upset, crying. It's sad seeing Harry Kane. But with the Champions League, there's always got to be a loser. And unfortunately, it's Spurs for this time. And hopefully they can take this and they can develop on it, right? They'll take the money from getting to the final and be able to buy a few players, be able to buy where they need to buy in defence, in midfield, and a backup to Harry Kane.
And also, let's not forget how difficult it is for Liverpool. Had an absolute shocker in the final last year. Well, I mean, particularly their keeper, obviously. It's harsh to bring him up again.
Salah
going off. I mean, it was 1-1 at one stage and then 2 horrendous errors and a world-class goal.
These fans in this squad had their fair share of the downs.
They've recruited excellently over not just last year, over the last 3 years. I mean, they've made Wijnaldum, Robertson have come from relegated clubs. They're now starting Champions League finals. They've developed the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold into one of the finest right-backs in Europe right now. Joe Gomez has come on leaps and bounds. Joel Matip has gone from sort of a much maligned centre-back to one of the star performers in this final.
Yeah.
You just got to give Klopp and their whole club really a lot of credit for how they've cultivated this side and what they've produced tonight.
Spurs as well, of course it's going to be sad, but this is like, they've got to remember, they've reached a Champions League final for the first time ever. This is fantastic. And they've just moved into a brand new stadium, which is going to host some fantastic nights in the Champions League. They're in the Champions League for next season. If they can invest well, which I wouldn't put it past them on doing, I mean, they have had a few shockers in history, but they can, fingers crossed they can.
Do you know who's the unsung hero in all this? Looking around at these wild celebrations. Southampton.
Yeah.
There's about 8 Southampton players on the pitch now.
Yeah, very true.
Wanyama,
Very
Lallana, Mane,
Alderweireld.
Lovren, Alderweireld, Van Dijk.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more than-
I'm
I
looking
think
at
more
all
than
these
that as
scenes and I'm
well,
like,
bro.
Southampton's going to put out a team here.
You make a very good point. Also, Spurs, it's really difficult to get to your first final and win it. The last 6 teams to go to their first final have lost. That goes I think it's Bayer Leverkusen, Monaco, Chelsea in 2008, Arsenal. I can't remember who the last one is, but all they're going on a run down to their fans who will be going absolutely nuts in Madrid tonight. Thames, what's the reaction been like in the comment section?
I mean, as expected, there's going to be a lot of smug Liverpool fans in there, but I think it's just as expected. It felt like they won the game throughout the whole game, really, because you just couldn't see Spurs scoring as close as they came. But the problem is everyone writ them off when they had their groups, didn't they? They were in the group of death. No one even thought they were going to get out of their group, and they actually made it to the final. So you got to look at it that way, Spurs fans. Like it's a hard route to do. Not many teams get to the
100%.
final.
And from a Liverpool perspective, they the way they recovered from a pretty bad group
Liverpool,
stage, they only went through on goals scored.
It's exceptional that Liverpool have got to a second final on the bounce.
Yeah.
Like, that in itself is an achievement. And they've actually
Trent Alexander-Arnold has made it to the Champions League final every time in his professional career.
Yeah, that's insane. He's cool as ice as
And
well.
do you know, like looking at the players on the peripheries at Liverpool as well. Obviously, we don't want to read too much into body language and stuff because it makes it sound like we're struggling for talking points. But like everyone in that squad is delighted, aren't they? Like the actual atmosphere, like this, how Jurgen Klopp has kind of galvanised this group of players. Like I don't think there's many managers in world football. I think I said it after the Barcelona game, who players want to play for more so than Jurgen Klopp. The only manager that can really rival him in that sense, I think, is Pep, and then maybe closely followed by Pochettino. Like the actual, look at all of them.
Also,
like Alberto Moreno's going mad. I don't think he's had a minute in like the last 6 months, has he?
Also, like, massive credit to a player that I thought who really wasn't really good enough to make the difference at Liverpool in Divock Origi. He's popped up with the winners against Everton, Newcastle, and two against Barcelona. Another winner, well, it wasn't really the winner because they were already 1-0 up, but a crucial goal in this night. And his future at Liverpool now looks secure. I mean, can you really sell him after the last 2-3 months that he's had? But it will be the end for some of their players at the same time. You can't imagine Daniel Sturridge sticking around for another year. I mean, James Milner can't go on forever as well, but you wouldn't want to get rid of him in a hurry either.
But like they've made it so the transition this summer like is easy, isn't it? Like the players that are leaving are players that should be leaving. Liverpool are no longer relinquishing their best talents to Barcelona, are they? To you know, when Arsenal were bidding for Luis Suarez, could you imagine Arsenal bidding £40 million now for like a Mo Salah? Or, you know, or the equivalent. Like the actual Liverpool's standing under Jurgen Klopp has just changed so dramatically from that 7th place team to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at.
I mean, Brendan Rodgers was lucky to finish second, wasn't he? I mean, and there was a massive like talent deficit in the squad. Like he did exceptionally well. Now it's like, yeah, they should be.
Yeah, gone are the days of John Joe Shelby and Joe Allen and Jay Spearing.
The transition though, like
they've just done it so quickly and so effectively.
Yeah, and like again, to bring it back to Spurs, there is potential for them to do this. Like they should be able to look at Liverpool and go, "We can do this. We can."
But do they look at Liverpool and go 75 million Van Dijk? Like that's never going to.
Yeah, that's. But maybe that's the point. What Daniel Levy has to say, like, okay, if I want to win this competition, maybe I do need to go and rip up the rule book for this one. And if he doesn't, I mean, he's maybe someone else has to look into trying to buy the club, which I highly doubt will happen.
I mean, you wouldn't expect that in the next 5 years. I think it's very difficult to move into a new stadium and then instantly start. Of course. Maybe in 3 years' time, I think you're right. I mean, their record signing, I think, is Davinson Sanchez for 40. I think they've only signed 3 or 4 players in their history for over 30. Eric Lamela, I think, is their second highest ever signing. I might be wrong on that. So they will need to start, in order to keep up this level of performance, especially in the Champions League, they're going to have to start spending a bit more money. But their academy, in the way that Pochettino is getting the most out of players and turning, seemingly players that just didn't belong in Moussa Sissoko into a sort of a Champions League absolute animal.
Old Pochettino.
Turning into an ultimate big game player. And Harry Winks is getting more minutes. The work he's done with his fullbacks as well. I mean, Trippier hasn't had the best year, but Danny Rose, Ben Davies as well. These are top class performers now, and it's all down to massive credit to Pochettino, I think.
I mean, I was just looking. I just caught. I don't know if that was Ryan Brewster there, but I'm thinking like Daniel Sturridge can go, and Jurgen Klopp said that Ryan Brewster's going to get his minutes. So
fair enough.
Like there's a nice kind of like some budding talent at Liverpool as well, isn't there? He's entrusted like a few 16, 17-year-olds with some minutes in various competitions. So that'd be nice to see as well, rather than Liverpool just kind of go out and spend a ton of cash.
I mean, Harry Wilson's had a great year at Derby.
Yeah.
Ben Woodburn's had a great year, I think, as well.
Ben Woodburn went to Sheffield United, right, for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how well he did there. Did he only go in Jan? I'm not sure.
I can't remember when he went, but I remember reading that he'd had quite a good campaign. So yeah, there's all the signs are there for the future. Temps, does anyone come out with anything profound that they want to ask the panel?
Virgil van Dijk for Ballon d'Or. People were saying in the comments.
I think he'll be top 3.
A little bit.
Yeah, I really, really don't think a defender. With Messi and Ronaldo about, I really don't think a defender is going to be.
Well, I wouldn't give it to Ronaldo.
There seems to be a policy with Ballon d'Or that it doesn't necessarily have to be the best player. It tends to be the player who wins the most. So yeah. I think Van Dijk will be in the top 3. I'd be surprised if he won it.
He definitely deserves to be in the top 3. There's no doubt.
See with the Nations League, mate. See how he does in the Nations League.
Yeah.
That is very soon as well. It's scarily close.
Next Thursday, Temps.
How is that so close?
I think we're doing a football social for it. So on
Yeah,
Football
we are.
Daily, if you want to tune in for that, then make sure you come over and join us half an hour before kickoff. But so I think some more fitting tributes to Reyes. There was that from Moreno.
Really nice.
Nice minutes applause for him prior to the game. But should we just have 2 or 3 more questions and wrap this up?
Yeah. People are saying, how do you think Tottenham should Tottenham have lined up differently ahead of this game, or do you think they got everything right in terms of start line?
I honestly
What do you
think
think,
Tottenham did the best, did everything right. It was just down to one mistake that cost them. That mistake from Sissoko, and even for Sissoko, for the whole rest of the game, he actually performed really, really, really well. It's football, right? That's how it works sometimes. It's just a bit of a madness during 30 seconds, and you can lose a final. And I think that's kind of what happened today.
Yeah, I put it on Twitter beforehand that I thought they lined up as you'd expect. Really, a big game. If Harry Kane's available, you play him. Should they have reacted quicker? Potentially, but as Zach said, it was a moment of madness in the first 2 minutes, and that completely changed the complexion. They had large parts of control, but they came up against 2 centre-backs at the top of their game.
Yeah, really.
And Alisson, when he was called upon in the second half, was great as well. So I don't think Pochettino will go away with any regrets. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, sorry, I was
that
watching the whole
trophy.
ceremony. Ian Rush bringing out that
I love that
beautiful
trophy.
big-eared trophy.
It is such a beautiful
I think
trophy.
given that Tottenham grew into the game and got better and better and better,
What is Sadio Mane doing with Ian Rush?
I thought he was
Well, he's
going
been
to
drop
kick him.
kicking Rush.
That's karate.
I think Ian Rush fought it for a second as well. It'd be hard pressed to say that Pochettino didn't get it right, given they finished the stronger side.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe barring the last 5 minutes, but again, it was just like the league games where it could, or the last league game, it could potentially have gone a different way, but.
This bit's going to be so harsh.
I love the ticker tape. This is
I
my
know.
favourite bit of the
Oh
year.
no, I thought you meant. I meant where the Spurs players have to walk through the
Get
Liverpool
the silver,
players
yeah.
and pick up the silver, and then walk past the Champions League trophy.
You know,
Yeah, but imagine going to Baku and doing that.
You know,
He
he's going to
didn't
lift
care
the
when it was
trophy.
Arsenal, did he? Now look
No,
at
not
him.
at
He's
all.
all like,
Ex-Sunderland player is going to get his hands on the trophy. He's going to lift it. Jordan Henderson, great to see.
Yep.
Has anyone else noticed that the ribbons on the Champions League trophy look awful?
Yeah, they do look really
I haven't
bad.
actually looked at it.
They're red, but they're
Right,
look
Temps,
cheap.
let's get one final question.
Yes, people are saying. Well, actually, Nathan said, who was the player of the tournament in the Champions League for you?
God.
Mane had, maybe not in the final necessarily, but Mane has had a strong few games. His game against Bayern Munich. I mean, you know what? Van Dijk.
I was thinking Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, even especially in this
Get
final.
everything right, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he had a
this
bad
bit's so
game
harsh.
against Barcelona at the Camp Nou, didn't he? That's
Yeah,
probably
he
the
did.
I
only
think it was
time
more. I
I
think it was
remember
more though
having a bad game.
Gomez signing right
Oh,
back there.
I mean, they look dejected, obviously, the Spurs players. There's a lot of
As
respect
you would
between the
be.
teams.
just
It's actually
wanna-
going to be really interesting next week. They're obviously, lots of them are going to be playing in England duties together.
Sonny Stelling's dad has made a post-match statement, and he's just said, "I think I'm just emotionally drained with football." So I think Sonny's dad's going to give it. You know,
Shall I call him?
it's going to be It's going to be.
Definitely
It's going to be a
He's
long.
going to be so
Definitely
sad.
not.
Just a long old.
Sonny's
summer.
going out tonight as well.
No, he's not.
he is. He is.
No, as he watches these silver medals roll in, he is not going.
He told me he's going out, and the person who's going out with is a Liverpool fan.
Oh, you wouldn't, would you?
Listen, I mean, if you, it's you got to be
bless him.
delighted. I mean, delighted to participate is
Exactly.
is like the thinnest of
Yeah.
silver linings,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's like the effort prize.
But yeah, clubman. But
Oh,
they've got to
Dele.
start building a bit more of a European pedigree and like getting used to. You know, this will be a great experience for people like Dele Alli who are still in their early to mid 20s.
Imagine if Dele comes in this room.
and Harry Kane as well. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. I mean,
He is a loser.
it's difficult for lots of these Spurs players, you know, particularly the England ones. They've lost 2 big games in the last, 2 years. Champions
Yeah.
League final, World Cup semi-final. They've come back from that after a long, hard season.
You know what it means?
Lots of them had very little break as well with a depleted squad.
Oh, son, don't. Oh, bless him.
Oh.
So sad. It
That's
means
a good
though,
image.
we'll win a.
Son's walking past because he really took the game to Liverpool at various
You know what?
points.
He was
One of the
he
players of
was
the
probably their
tournaments?
best player.
Son,
Son was epic.
one of the players of the
I also think
tournament.
Messi deserves a shout out. I mean,
As
top,
always.
top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Particularly in the new camp against Liverpool, he's absolutely superb.
I mean,
remember he had a great game against Wembley against Spurs as well.
that chance he puts on for his man Dembele at the Camp Nou, or
Very
New
fa-
Camp. I don't know why I call it the Camp Nou. I'm not
You
Catalan.
did-
Yeah, at the very end, you know, like he couldn't have done any more against Liverpool, could he? Scored, 3 goals and bloody laying on 3 or 4 chances. It's just
Fair.
crazy.
Right, lads, should we wrap up there and let the fans watch the
I kinda
trophy
want-
Two
lifting
goals.
ceremony by themselves?
Yeah, why don't you guys enjoy that by yourselves? Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope you have enjoyed it. Liverpool are the 2019 Champions League champions, I should say. Won it for the 6th time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Also, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to Euro Football Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss a video. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Did Oxlade-Chamberlain just take his trophy straight off? Look at Klopp with Sturridge now, and that's why everyone loves playing there.
I don't understand why is like. Well, Bruce actually that won't count.